Wow. Mo Beats. I feel like I can brush this cat, and I feel like he never stops giving me hair. Is it supposed to do that? Okay. I offended him.
Welcome to the Snarler Parlor. Hello?
Oh my god, look at how much hair this guy has. This is a huge cat. Holy
You're a big cat. Can you come out? Can you come out? You gonna let me clip your nails? Can you see your paws? Don't jump. Oh, do I need to clip your nails? The nails are really short, so there's no nails. This big, beautiful silver fox is Buddy, and he's a 2-year-old Maine Coon. His owners already maintain his nails at home, so I got to skip trimming the murder mittens. No, I'm not jumping anywhere. After I brush him out, I ruin his life by giving him a nice, warm, soapy bath. No. Oh my god. If you think Buddy is handsome, you should stay tuned till next week when I groom his kittens. No, they're not jumping out. It's okay. It's okay. Nope, nope, nope. I think he's starting to understand that this is karma for the mouse that he killed last week. Oh, you're okay. You gotta rinse your tail. Okay, you made it. You made it. It's okay, little buddy. It's okay. He pulled his happy hoodie off in the dryer, and then he lost his poop. It just goes to show you how useful this tool is, especially when working on cats. It works by calming them down, and also makes them think that they are immobilized. You want it? Oh, you're shaking. You're very upset. Well, you just wasted a tube, and a lot of cats would be very disappointed about that. After he was dry, I started brushing him out with my slicker brush. Where are you going? Oh, your tail just reeks. Stay here. I know, you got stud tail and it's nasty. Oh, no. I'm using a degreaser cream for cats to try to remove the oil from his stud tail. I'm sorry, but your greasy stud tail is nasty. Stay here. I'm just gonna get a little bit more. Stud tail is a skin condition that occurs on the base of a cat's tail. It's called stud tail because stud is the term used for a breeding male, and it mainly occurs in intact male cats. It's caused by overactivity of the sebaceous glands near the rear of the back and the base of the tail. This overactivity is caused by high levels of hormones that are secreted when an unneutered male cat experiences puberty. It's all oily, greasy nastiness. In rare cases, this condition can also affect both spayed and neutered male and female cats. Good boy. Good boy. Well, this cat does not have a single little tangle of mats. It's in really good condition.
The coat report.
I sprayed this handsome man down in bubblegum cologne, and although he is less than impressed, I am certain that he both looks and feels a heck of a lot better. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss his adorable kittens that I'm grooming next week.
He's trying to hide. Buddy.
Stay here. Goodbye. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed The Brave Buddy.
Wow. Oh no. Don't get me on Tim Pool content. We can't start watching this regularly.
On to the next story from CNBC. Harris will beat Trump, says election prediction legend Alan Lichtman. And this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Nate Silver currently has it for Trump. That could change. Lichtman currently has it for Kamala Harris. This doesn't make sense. Now, Lichtman predicted accurately that Donald Trump would beat Hillary Clinton, and they made fun of him. They were like, you're crazy. He went through his prediction model and said Hillary Clinton is going to lose, and the media laughed and said she can't lose. Are you nuts? Now Lichtman is predicting that Kamala Harris will win. The only time he was wrong is when he predicted, I think it was Al Gore was going to win. I think he predicted Al Gore.
Yeah, that's right.
But then it wasn't a normal election considering how it turned out. So some say since the 80s when he began this model, he's never been wrong. 2000 was an anomaly, so we don't count that. Maybe you should. I kind of feel like he's full of it. Let me show you. So they say the results are in. The Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris will defeat Republican rival Trump in the November 5th election, according to the historian named the Nostradamus of presidential elections. In his latest election prophecy, he, an American professor, blah, 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 is predicting Harris is going to win. The Democrats will hold on to the White House, and Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States, Lichtman said in the video. At least that is my prediction for this race. His forecasts are based on a historical index model he dubs the keys to the White House. The way it works is there are 13 true-false statements. If 6 or more of the statements are false, then the challenger, in this case, Trump, is predicted to win. Here are the keys and his determinations. I got to say, before I read his... Actually, let's do this. I'll read the keys to the White House. It is 1, party mandate. 2, no primary contest. 3, incumbent seeking re-election. 4, no third party. 5, strong short-term economy. 6, strong long-term economy. 7, major policy change. 8, no social unrest. 9, no scandal. 10, no foreign or military failure. 11, major foreign or military success. 12, charismatic incumbent. And 13 is uncharismatic challenger. Now, his determination is that only 3 of these statements are false, therefore Trump cannot win. But let's go through his assessment. Party mandate. After the midterm elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the U.S. House than it did after the previous midterm. False. That's good for Republicans. Contest. There is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. True. Whoa.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with this one.
Dean Phillips, RFK Jr., and you had a bunch of other kind of Marion Williamson.
I mean, there were primaries that said not Joe Biden, right? Like there was
also
contest over
in Minnesota and
that's what I'm
Michigan.
referencing.
Yeah,
Well,
and-
even
and
the whole
Washington
thing
State.
with the uncommitted voters.
Yeah.
So this was very seriously contested. RFK Jr. was running for the Democratic ticket. They blocked him from it, so he turned independent.
They
he was running
filed lawsuits against him in
right.
every
which,
state.
Which a funny point he brought up is they kept suing him to keep his name off the ballot. Now they're suing him to keep his name on the ballot.
Right.
How about that? So he said.
I like how they mix all these groups together and all these cases together because it's all like the same. There's like in the U.S., do you remember when everyone went to court in that one courthouse and then they said guilty for everybody and then everybody also was not? It's just like...
For there is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. True. I feel that's false. There was a serious contest for it. It was a matter of huge contention how they handled the primary to keep people out. So maybe his argument is it doesn't matter. All that matters is the primary didn't happen. Perhaps his argument is his model is not based on whether or not people were challenging him. It's based on whether or not there was an actual election where the incumbent almost lost.
So basically, he's saying that because the incumbent party was so powerful and used lawfare so effectively, there was no primary.
I guess,
challenge.
which doesn't make sense. If the argument is when there was a serious primary contest for the incumbent party nomination, it shows disdain for the current candidate.
Oh, no. Now we have to argue what the keys mean. Oh.
And many of those people
Are the co-hosts as retarded as he is? She's like, is she the owner of the Babylon Bee or something? She's one of those people who's like, I'm liberal, but then thinks that all the left is evil and terrible and horrible. This girl is somebody I mix up constantly with that redheaded libertarian. She's just stupid. This guy, if he's on the show, he's stupid. So they're all stupid. Yeah.
people were challenging him. It's based on whether or not there was an actual election where the incumbent almost lost.
So basically, he's saying that because the incumbent party was so powerful and used lawfare so effectively, there was no primary.
I guess,
challenge.
which doesn't make sense. If the argument is when there is a serious primary contest for the incumbent party nomination, it shows disdain for the current candidate, and many of those people won't vote, we absolutely have that in RFK Jr. So let's continue. Not to mention, the incumbent party victor of the primary is not the candidate. Like, let's make that clear. The guy who won the primary is not the candidate. So this is weird. Incumbency. The incumbent party candidate is the sitting president. False. Seems strange because it's right.
It is false, but this whole model
Kamala.
seems to not acknowledge the fact that she is actually part of the incumbent administration.
Right.
I mean, when it works as if when they don't want her to be, when it would benefit the model, she isn't, and when it would hurt her or help her, like, you know, it kind of goes back and forth whether she's a part of this or not.
But like,
Wait, what?
Model, she is actually part of the incumbent administration.
Right.
I mean, when it works as if when they don't want her to be, when it would benefit the model, she isn't, and when it would when it would hurt her or help her, like, it kind of goes back and forth whether she's a part of this or not.
But like, we'll read it verbatim. She is
I don't even know what she just said. Okay.
not the sitting president. I don't know how many times that has happened. And I don't think it's ever.
No, I
The
don't.
sitting president. Well, no. That's wrong. During elections where the president is termed out and the vice president is running, like say Al Gore or whatever, then this clearly becomes the issue. So let's just say, fine, we'll give him the false. It benefits Trump anyway. There is no significant third party or independent campaign. I'll actually agree that's true. Short-term economy. The economy is not in a recession during the election campaign. True. Full stop. Are we in a recession?
Not,
Yeah,
not
if
yet,
it
are we?
feels like it, it's not officially a recession, but
Exactly. So this is the question. If you go around and ask people, as even Don Lemon did, who are you voting for? They say Trump. He says, why? He was in Atlantic City and they were like, the economy. And Don Lemon's like, no, the economy's good. Well, people don't feel it. So the question is not, I don't think you can say, are we in a recession? I think the question is, do people feel bad economically? Because it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah, the other thing too is I was reading a report this morning. Groceries hit like an all-time high in July.
What did?
Groceries.
Prices for it.
Prices for groceries.
And people can feel it. Number 6 is long-term economy. Real per capita economic growth during the term equals or exceeds mean growth during the previous 2 terms. True. That one's fine. That's an economic academic statement. I have no problem with that. The short-term economy, I think, would likely be false because people are feeling the heat. But you know what? We're not in a recession, so I'll give that one. So let's just say this. So far, we have 1 is false, 2 is false, 3 is false. We have 3, so it's 3 more. Policy change. This one's fascinating. The incumbent administration affects major changes in national policy. True. What?
It was some of the most major legislation passed in any administration in how long? How is he even going to argue with this? Sorry, he just said, this is fascinating. He does so many random fillers like this. I need to do this more.
A recession, so I'll give that one. So let's just say this. So far, we have 1 is false, 2 is false, 3 is false. We have 3, so it's 3 more. Policy change. This one's fascinating. The incumbent administration affects major changes in national policy.
Fascinating. Sorry, muted. My bad.
Kamala Harris is not off. The incumbent administration affects major changes in national policy. True. What? Kamala Harris is not offering any change. The Inflation Reduction Act already happened. The policies that they've proposed, they've enacted. What change would they possibly bring about as the same administration?
Well,
I think.
Wait, is he not reading this correctly? The incumbent administration effects major changes in national policy. The incumbent admin did cause major changes in national policy. Or is he saying because she shouldn't count as an incumbent? Or
So we have 3, so it's 3 more. Policy change. This one's fascinating. The incumbent administration affects major changes in national policy. True. What? Kamala Harris is not offering any change. The Inflation Reduction Act already happened. The policies that they've proposed, they've enacted. What change would they possibly bring about as the same administration? I think what he's playing here is he's treating this as though the vice president taking over is as if a 2-term president is termed out and an ambitious VP is taking over. It's the same administration.
Yeah, and also the one thing where I would say that they are attempting to affect change isn't actually working, and it's certainly not working in any sort of public way, which is they're trying to pull back on this border after letting in, I think even the New York Times says 9 million people over the past couple of years, and Marjorie Taylor Greene says 20, right? So there's a big difference, but they're trying to affect some kind of change with the amnesty program. They put a pause on their parole program to allow in, 30,000 extra people per month from, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Haiti. They're trying to do that, but it's not actually working because you still have, a lot of reports of crimes committed by illegal immigrants, like really violent ones, child rape and things.
Do we all agree that's false?
Yeah, I think it's false.
He said true. I believe if Kamala wins, it is stagnant, same policies.
I'm guessing this has to do with if the current admin, if the incumbent administration has done really big things for the national policy, which they clearly have. That's what this is about. I don't know why he's making this into a prediction. I don't know.
The war advances. The border doesn't change. She's the border czar. He put true. That makes literally no sense. There's no major change in national policy should she win. False. That's 4 falses. 2 more and Trump wins.
And talking about the immigration is when you look at the Biden administration, they're essentially playing a shell game when every time you see, immigration, illegal immigration or visas are going down, they're just routing it through a different legal process. So it's immigration.
Kind of how the money was routed through shell companies for Timcast.
It's not going down. They're just playing a massive shell game, moving these numbers around.
All right, so 8, social unrest. There is no sustained social unrest during the term. I don't know that we have sustained social unrest, so I'll call that true. That's fine. This is my favorite.
I would argue we are close to sustained social unrest with the Palestine stuff.
Oh, actually, fair point.
You know what I mean?
They're back on campuses.
they're protesting.
Back on campus.
And they're protesting
They
him.
were going nuts.
And Kamala.
It hurt.
They
Okay,
were
so that's 5
protesting all
false.
summer.
That's a good point. They've been protesting nonstop.
And I want to say, what was
That's social unrest? Okay.
it, 100,000 Palestinian protesters in Chicago at the DNC?
Yeah.
It was like just watching the videos, it was shocking to see this.
Oh yeah,
sea
so,
of
so
them.
absolutely, I was wrong on that.
We're
Fair point.
weeks away from the year anniversary of that. So that seems sustained to me.
There is a stain. So okay, so that's 5. Number 9, scandal. The incumbent administration is untainted by major scandal. True. What? The president was ousted in the 11th hour as the whole media said they were secretly withholding information about his cognitive decline. That's the incumbent administration. That's not just Kamala Harris. That's 6. Trump wins. But there's more. There's more. Incumbent charisma. The incumbent party candidate is charismatic or a national hero. False. I will agree with that. That's 7. Now here's an interesting one. Challenger charisma. The challenging party candidate is not charismatic or a national hero. True. So this is interesting. Trump is charismatic, but he's also widely hated.
He's widely hated. On the other hand, he is obviously charismatic. He built a whole career in TV before he ever got anywhere. I mean, he just survived an assassination attempt. I'm sorry.
That's 8. And then, guess what? Number 12, foreign military failure. The incumbent administration suffers no major failure in foreign or military affairs. Holy crap. The Abbey Gates scandal is breaking now with the Gold Star families criticizing heavily the Biden administration and Harris for besmirching their name, for insulting Trump when they invited him. Not to mention Afghanistan was a major failure. Not to mention Israel is resulting in massive protests. That's 9. And last but not least, foreign military success. The incumbent administration achieves a major success in foreign or military affairs. False. That's 10 for Trump. How is this guy making these assessments? Maybe he's right. Maybe what he's actually doing is sitting there and he's being like, I'm just going to lie because the deep state's going to give it to Harris or whatever. Or maybe the news media for the first time has become so broken that this guy watching CNN doesn't understand reality. And so he genuinely thinks he's being correct on this. And it's not a fault of his system. It's a fault of where he gets his information.
Well, you mentioned with Al Gore that was sort of an anomalous race. And I think similarly, maybe he is not able to judge how unusual this race is with the insertion of Kamala Harris. I mean, some of these metrics almost seem like they don't apply because when they reference the incumbent being, not charismatic, which incumbent are we talking about? The incumbent vice president or the incumbent president? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird situation.
She brings up a really good point. I think that one of the weakest things is the fact that the only thing that Alan Lichtman has ever said is this 13-point list posted on CNBC. I think that the Lichtman guy is like fucked up really bad in that he hasn't given any public commentary on this. He hasn't done any interviews. He hasn't posted any videos. He hasn't written any articles. He hasn't done any op-eds for anybody. He hasn't posted any information online. Like the fact that he just did, this 120-word list basically here on CNBC. Yeah, it was a huge, huge issue. We have no idea what he's thinking or what insight we could possibly get into his mind for any of these things. So, yeah. But at least we have this panel to fill us in on what he's likely thinking. Yeah.
And several major scandals. There's been the classified documents scandal. There was the Hunter Biden, laptop
guilty,
scandal.
literally right now.
There's Hunter Biden pleading guilty. There was cocaine in the White House scandal. There was,
the scandals. So
Biden
many
getting
scandals.
pushed out at the last second scandal. There have been a lot of scandals and things like,
That's a lot of
not to
scandals.
mention just total policy failures that have been a really big problem that people have noticed. You have the border situation. That's a really giant disaster. If we remember going back to 2019 and 2020,
Please remember the border and the assassination attempt. Please don't forget it.
You started to see, as soon as Biden started making a really big play for the White House, you started to see would-be illegal border crossers lining up south of the border wearing "Thank You Biden" t-shirts. Mm-hmm. They all knew the drill. It had been telegraphed to them. Everybody was aware of it. You've had countless administration officials hauled before Congress. You had Mayorkas outright lying. He said from the briefing room, I remember watching it, we're not saying don't come. We're saying don't come now. Let us get our system together. And then he lied to Josh Hawley and said that he hadn't said that. And I was like, well, you did kind of totally say that. You had the vaccine mandate push. And then you had, concerns were raised about that, rightly or wrongly. And then you also had lockdowns. That was a problem. You had the enforcement on the states. So I think that there have been a lot of school closures. That was an issue. And you had literally the Biden administration being told by teachers unions that were funding the campaign, this is what we want you to do with schools once you're in office. And that wasn't the only thing.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday.
My God. Me. Yeah, me after the Russia. Expose, how it feels to be right. True.
We need audiovisual setup for the lecture hall.
What for?
For the lecture.
What lecture?
Dr. Weber's lecture.
Okay. Trump press conference from today.
So, thank you very much, everybody.
Do you personally think illegal immigration? I think you're missing something there. It seems like Dems have just given up trying to convince people that no, not all immigrants are gang rape murderers. I don't know how much people care about it right now. The Republicans can only yank that chain so many times before people kind of stop caring. And I feel like they yanked it a little bit too early. But maybe they can bring it up again in a month or whatever. Maybe they can get another caravan coming.
for being here. This is a long and complicated web and story, but it all goes back to the DOJ and Kamala and Sleepy Joe and all the rest of them.
Wait, does this have to do with the... Somebody said this is a rape case? A civil? If it's a civil rape case, what the fuck does that have to do with the DOJ?
We have a whole rigged election system. Nobody's ever seen anything like what's happening. Now I understand. Yesterday they're bringing up Russia again, that they've done for years. Never found anything. But they should be looking at China.
Really? Never found anything? You sure about that?
Iran. Lots of other places. I haven't spoken to anybody from Russia in years. They know that, but it's a scam. But it all goes back to the DOJ because we had a trial today. It's an appeal of a ridiculous verdict of a woman I have never met. I don't know. I have no idea who she is. She wrote a book and she made a ridiculous story up. She put it in her book. And we're now appealing the decision. We had an extremely hostile judge appointed by Clinton, very good friends of Clinton. I guess he presided over the marriage ceremony of one of the lawyers on the case against us. And it was very sad. Judge Lewis Kaplan, angry man. He was so angry. I went to the trial. I've been in a lot of litigation over the years. I've never seen such anger, or wanted to throw one of our attorneys in jail, who threatened her with jail. Nobody's ever seen anything like it over nothing. I've never seen such anger, but all of our judges, I mean, we had a brilliant judge, and I think a very fair judge in Florida. I think we have another judge who's very fair. I just ask for fair. I don't want anything different from anybody else. I just ask for fairness. We have another judge or a couple of judges that I think are fair. Then we have other judges that I think the whole thing is, I think the system is a disgrace. The case that we met on today, and then we're going to talk about job numbers, which are horrible, by the way, horrible, like really bad. And you know that. I'm sure you won't report on it, but the job numbers are terrible. We're going to talk about the appeal today. We had a great appellate lawyer go down representing us. And I think John did a very good job. You have a matter of minutes to speak. It's a very complex thing because it was a setup, a rigged deal. They had two witnesses. And before I start, I have no idea who this woman is. They have a picture from, they say, about 40 years ago, a picture. And the picture depicts her and her husband on a celebrity line where I was the celebrity. I've been a celebrity for a long time. And they were shaking my hands along with hundreds of other people. Nobody even knows where it is. The problem is she doesn't know the date of this incident. She doesn't know when. She doesn't know, was it in the 90s? Could it have been further than that? She has no idea when. And people do that because you don't want to give a specific date and then you find out that Trump or whoever it was in Europe. So they tend to do that. They take long periods so that this way, hopefully he was in New York at that time. But this is a disgraceful case, and disgraceful in particular because it's about a former president of the United States who is now leading in the polls to be the president again. And this is being worked with the DOJ, Department of Justice, as are all of these cases. They all come out. Atlanta, Fani, that is all Department of Justice. Nobody knew that. The case with Judge Engoron, the most overturned judge in the state, that is very close because they sent their team from the DOJ to help him. The district attorney, Alvin Bragg, that was all worked with. Again, they sent a top operative from the department, from the DOJ Department of, I call it the Department of Injustice, because they're using the Department of Justice to rig the campaign. These cases are disgraceful. Now, they're brought, for the most part, in front of very hostile areas where Republicans get 3 or 4%, like downtown Manhattan, in front of very hostile judges, like hostile like you wouldn't believe. Judge Mershon, Judge Engoron, and Judge Kaplan, all of them hostile areas and very, very hostile judges. I've never seen anything like it. And very bad thing in this case, New York. Very bad thing for New York. Businesses won't come to New York because of what took place with Judge Engoron. I can tell you that. And probably the rest of them also. But this case involved a woman who wrote a book, and I guess she said something in the book. That's when I first heard about it. I first heard about it in the White House. And, of course, I denied the...
Someone said, I know you don't have time to go over it, but the civil case is crazy. She sued him and got like $5 million for defamation. After she accused him of rape, he called her a liar and a nasty woman. And then Trump couldn't shut the fuck up about it, so she sued him again and got another $80 million. One of the jurors was a Tim Pool listener and still found Trump liable. Is that true?
The story, because it's not true. I have no idea who the woman is, and I never met her. Now, I don't know about a picture that was taken 40 years ago with her husband on a celebrity line, so I don't think that counts. But as far as I know, I never met her. I never touched
And he's still talking? Yeah, there's like that infinite money glitch. Is he going to get sued again?
her. I would have had no interest in meeting her in any way, shape, or form. Her husband was a news anchor, actually, John Johnson, a very nice guy. She called him horrible things. We weren't allowed to say that in the trial. She said horrible things about him. I guess they're since divorced. He's a very nice guy, African-American, and she said very bad things. We weren't allowed to use that in the trial, which surprised a lot of people. But she made up a story, it fabricated 100%, that I attacked her at Bergdorf Goodman. You know, it's very interesting. I don't think they were allowed to use this either. Her favorite show is Law and Order. And there's a almost exact story as her story in Law and Order about being attacked in the dressing room of a department store. I don't know if they used the name of the store. But that's her favorite show, Law and Order. She said that. And anyway, this evolved into a defamation case against me because I disputed her words because I told the truth. We were called. I was in the White House, and I said, no, it never happened. I didn't even know what they were talking about. This was, I think I was in the Oval Office. Sir, do you know anything about this? And this had to do with the book, and she had a few pages in a book making this claim. By the way, there was never a claim. There was never a police report. There was never anything mentioned. There was never publicity 30 or 40 years ago, whenever it took place. Nobody knows. She doesn't know when it took place. When did it take place? She has no idea. She thinks it was in the 1990s. She thinks it was in the 1990s. And the judge, we had 2 trials. We asked for a consolidation. He said no. The reason he said no is he'd rather have double the publicity because that's bad for me. Very bad, because I'm running for president. And this is not the kind of publicity you like. And whether it's true or not, it's horrible. And in this case, it's so false. It's a made-up, fabricated story by somebody, I think, initially just looking to promote a book. And when they called me, I denied the story. I got sued essentially for defamation because I'm denying a story where I'm right. I should be suing her for defamation. So that's where it is. Now, there were 2 witnesses. One is a woman who's followed me for years. She said in 1979, I was in an airplane with her, commercial flight, and we became very intimate. I just sat down. I think I had the book, The Art of the Deal. I was famous then,
on the
too.
plane,
I've been famous for a long time. And we're sitting in first class, according to her. Never happened, by the way. Totally made up story. She's a Clinton person, too, by the way. Big Clinton person. She made up the story. And so many years ago, and I think it would be 1979. One of my many people behind me could correct it, but I think she said 1979. That's a long time ago. And I sat down. I believe I had some pretty big success then, and I was being talked about a lot. Maybe The Art of the Deal was out, sometime after that. I'm not sure. But I was well known. And passengers are coming into the plane. And she said I was making out with her. And then, after 15 minutes, and then she changed her story a couple of times. Maybe it was quicker. That I grabbed her at a certain part, and that was when she had enough. Now, so think of the impracticality of this. I'm famous. I'm in a plane. People are coming into the plane. And I'm looking at a woman, and I grab her, and I start kissing her and making it.
That's the chances of, like, the idea of somebody just grabbing somebody, that does sound kind of crazy. Just because he's what? Because he's famous? What is he? What is the implication that they just like let you do it, or I mean that's kind of far fetched, right? Like
on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. Whoa! I did try and fuck her. She was married.
Huge news there.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages, and I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, "I'll show you where they have some nice furniture." I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the grab them by the pussy.
You want.
Grab them by the pussy.
Thanks for playing this over and again. What a dog shit YouTube video. He doubles down on these remarks in deposition tapes. Wait, what?
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the...
Well, that's what it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not all.
What? How long is this deposition?
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the...
Well, that's what it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you can...
Why would you say unfortunately or fortunately? Wait, what?
Consider yourself to be a star.
I think you can say that, yeah. She's accusing me of rape. A woman that I have no idea who she is. It came out of the blue. She's accusing me of rape, of raping her. The worst thing you can do, the worst charge. And it's not true too. You're a political operative also. You're a disgrace. But she's accusing me, and so are you, of rape, and it never took place. And I will tell you, I made that statement, and I said, while it's politically incorrect, she's not my type. And that's 100% true. She's not my type. There's this ridiculous situation that we're doing right now. It's a big fat hoax. She's a liar, and she's a sick person, in my opinion. Really sick. Something wrong with her.
God damn it.
And by the early 1990s, would it be fair to call you or to characterize you as a real estate tycoon?
Yeah.
Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue, that was completed in 1983?
Around that time, yes.
And when did you move into your penthouse apartment there?
Maybe a year later.
And that remained your primary residence until you were elected president, correct?
That's right.
And where's Trump Tower located? I obviously know.
57th and 5th.
And at some point, you became the owner of the Plaza Hotel in New York, correct?
Yes.
And where's the Plaza Hotel located?
59th off Fifth Avenue.
And for how long were you the owner with Ron? During what years were you the owner of the Plaza Hotel?
I don't know the years. About 5 years.
And do you know when it began, when you bought it?
In the early 90s.
Now, in the 80s and 90s, is it fair to say you had a busy social life?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you'd have to define social life. I wouldn't say that busy. I was working very hard, so I didn't have time to be too much onto the social calendar, but yeah.
Well, let me try to phrase it this way. In the evenings during that period, you went out quite a bit in New York City to benefits, galas, etc.
A lot of charity events, yes. But I don't think that much, no.
So in the period in the 80s and 90s, it was already discussed, you would go to benefits and parties. And is it fair to say that a lot of those parties, there would be or benefits, there would be kind of a photography line either at the beginning or throughout the event?
Yes.
And then people would take photographs like Getty images and then put them
Right.
out. And this is another Getty images printout. And is it fair to say that this document indicates that you were the Grand Marshal of the New York City Veterans Day Parade on November 10, 1995 in New York City?
Yes.
Similarly true that during this same period you made appearances on television, correct?
Yes.
Sitting here today, can you recall any TV interviews that you did that you remember?
I did everything.
When you say everything, give me some examples if you can.
I did the late night shows. I did the newscasts. I even did some of the political shows on Sunday, even though I wasn't really in politics as I am now. But they wanted me to do that, and I did that. They'd ask me to do them all the time. So I did quite a bit of television.
I think you already answered this question, but just so the record is clear, did you watch the program Good Morning America from time to time in this period of the late 1980s through the mid-1990s?
A little bit.
Did you appear on the Today Show during this period?
Yes.
Same question, did you watch the Today Show during this period?
A little bit.
During this period, did you have any friends in the television industry, who worked in the television industry?
Probably. I wasn't much involved at that point in the television industry, but I probably did.
Anyone come to mind right now?
Maybe Bob Wright.
Who's Bob Wright?
He was the head of NBC, I think, at that time.
What about Roger Ailes? When did you become friends with Roger?
Later.
Ailes? Approximately?
More in the 7-8 year ago period.
What years were you married to your first wife, Ivana Trump?
So, about 78 to...
Just as a quick thing, okay? And especially, and I'm not trying to pull an age card here, okay? But especially if you're like 18, 19, 20, and you hear something where somebody's like, Joe Biden didn't even remember when his son died. Like, you don't really catalog years like that in your head. When you're really young, every single important year of your life is indexed pretty hard to like where you're at for school. Like, oh, I met her when I was a freshman in college. That's 18, 19. I made that new friend as soon as we went to high school when I was like 14, right? But once you're past and out of school, like whether you're 30, 35, 45, 50, 55, like the year is it's harder to know exactly when things happen. The only reason I'm pointing this out is because when Biden didn't know the exact year that his son died, everybody used it as evidence. Like, oh my God, he's senile, he's gone. How can you not have this like index in your mind forever? How can you not know this forever? Trump doesn't have any idea when he married his first wife. Like, but conservatives don't even talk about this, right? Nobody cares. Yeah, I don't know.
More in the 7-8 year ago period.
What years were you married to your first wife, Ivana Trump?
So, about 78 to the early 90s.
Your next wife was a woman by the name of Marla Maples?
Right.
And sitting here today, do you recall what years you were married to Ms. Maples?
I'd have to get the exact dates for you. I can do that very easily.
In the course
There's absolutely no idea, right?
of your dating life and your married life, did you have occasion to buy gifts for women you were seeing?
Not much, actually.
Well,
I mean, if it was a birthday or something, I guess, yeah.
and other than birthday presents, did you buy gifts for women you were dating?
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think very much now.
I take it you bought gifts for your wives for their birthdays?
Yes, generally.
And I take it you bought gifts for women you were dating?
It's, probable.
At least in your first marriage, you were seeing women outside of your marriage while you were married, correct?
I don't know.
Well, you were very public about the fact that you were seeing Ms. Maples when you were still married to Ivana Trump, no?
No, I don't think I was public about it.
Well, there were many, many articles about it at the time, correct?
No, I don't think I was public about it. I mean, no, I don't think I was public about it at all.
Yeah, isn't it true that you were seeing Ms. Maples before you were divorced from Ivana Trump?
I don't know. It was toward the end of the marriage, so I don't know really. It could be a lap
Towards the end of a marriage, I have no idea.
over, but I don't really know.
Did you ever have occasion to go to the department store Bergdorf Goodman?
Very rarely.
You say very rarely. Can you give me more detail? How rarely?
I mean, almost never. I would very rarely go there.
When you went there, what do you recall shopping for?
I don't know. It's possible I was there, but I don't know that I ever shopped there for myself.
So when you shopped there for yourself, to the extent you went there, you were shopping for others?
I don't think I ever shopped for others. It's possible that one or both of my wives shopped there a little bit, but I don't remember ever Buying something for myself at Bergdorf Goodman. I went there very seldom, almost if ever.
Then let's limit it to Bergdorf's. Bergdorf's was pretty close to Trump Tower and very close to the Plaza Hotel, correct?
That's right.
I'm handing you a document that's been marked as DJT 18. It bears the Bates range Carroll 24378 through 24385. Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah.
Sitting here today, do you recognize this document?
No.
I will represent to you that this is the excerpt from Ms. Carroll's book that was published in New York Magazine originally online, on June 21, 2019.
Okay.
At any point in time, did you read this article?
Excuse me?
Did you ever read this article?
No, I don't believe I did.
I'm handing you a book. It's marked as DJT 19. It's a book by E. Jean Carroll. It says, "What Do We Need Men For?" And if you look at the publication date, it says first edition, July 2019. Do you have that? Do you have the book in front of you? I'm sitting here today, sir. Have you ever read either this book?
Hey, Destiny, big fan. Just curious, you're going to continue to duck Rob until after the election, or if you'll finish that convo you rage quit on. The 5.5-hour conversation that went an hour past when he said he had to go? Well, I can debate Rob literally anytime I want. I mean, hold on. Let me debate him right now. 1 second. Let's see. Where do you go? Claude? Is it www. Who do I type the AI questions to?
Book in its entirety or any portion of this book?
Nope, never have. I've never seen the book. Actually.
Okay. You responded publicly to Ms. Carroll's allegations on the same day that the excerpt was published in New York Magazine, which was June 21, 2019, correct?
I think so.
Let's take a look at that. So what we've handed you as DJT 20 is a blown up, for legibility purposes, version of a tweet posted by a woman by the name of Laura Litvin at 5:17 p.m. on June 21st, 2019. Do you have that in front of you?
Yes.
The statement that is in this tweet, is this a statement that you gave?
I mean, essentially, that's what I said. Yeah.
If you could read that statement into the record. It says, statement from President Donald J. Trump. Regarding the, quote, story, unquote, by E. Jean Carroll, claiming she once encountered me at Bergdorf Goodman 23 years ago, I've never met this person in my life. She is trying to sell a new book that should indicate her motivation. It should be sold in the fiction section. Shame on those who make up false stories of assault to try to get publicity for themselves or sell a book or carry out a political agenda, like Julie Swetnick, who falsely accused Justice Brett Kavanaugh. It's just as bad for people to believe it, particularly when there is zero evidence. Worse still for a dying publication to try to prop itself up by peddling fake news. It's an epidemic. Ms. Carroll in New York Magazine, no pictures, no surveillance, no videos, no reports, no sales attendants around, question mark. I would like to thank Bergdorf Goodman for confirming they have no video footage of any such incident because it never happened. False accusations diminish the severity of real assault. All should condemn false accusations and any actual assault in the strongest possible terms. If anyone has information that the Democratic Party is working with Ms. Carroll or New York Magazine, please notify us as soon as possible. The world should know what's really going on. It's a disgrace, and people should pay dearly for such false accusations. See that? That's what you have in front of you?
Yeah.
And I think you've already confirmed that this is a statement that you gave to someone on your staff to give to the press.
Yeah.
Let's mark as DJT 21, a document bearing the base range. DJT 21, this is the next one, right? DJT 21, a document bearing the base range MP 1795 through MP, I got it, just together, through MP 1807. You have that in front of you?
Yeah.
And these are statements that were put out when you were President of the United States?
Yeah.
And if you look at the top email, kind of the address of the email, it says under that, remarks by President Trump before Marine One departure.
Yes.
Marine One is a helicopter?
Yes.
And if you look where it shows you speaking about halfway or 2/3 of the way down the document, it says, the very first thing you say, so we're going to Camp David.
Yes.
So am I correct in interpreting this as this is a statement you made while boarding or getting on to Marine One?
Looks like it.
To go to Camp David?
It looks like
Okay. Let's go now to the third statement, which we're going to mark as, this one I can do, DJ 222. Thanks. You have in front of you, sir, a document, 5-page document. The first page says in bold type, exclusive, Trump vehemently denies E. Jean Carroll allegations, says she's not my type. It's from a publication known as The Hill. It's dated June 24th, 2019, and it's attributed to the gentleman Jordan Fabian, and or maybe not be gentleman, but it's attributed to two people, Jordan Fabian and Cigar and Genti. You see that?
Yes.
So this is 2 days after the last statement we're looking at, which was on June 22nd. Do you recall having an interview with reporters from The Hill on June 24th, 2019?
Vaguely, yes.
And do you recall where that interview took place?
I think it was in the Oval Office.
And you're quoted just below that paragraph as saying as follows, and this one I'll read. I'll say it with great respect. Number one, she's not my type. Number two, it never happened. It never happened, okay? And then the reporters say, the president said while seated behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. See that?
Yes, I did.
And the statement that I just read that said, begins, I'll say with great respect, that was a statement that you made to the reporters for The Hill on June 24, 2019, correct?
Yes.
And same set of questions. I take it, sir, that you stand by that statement today?
Yes, I do.
So before you made your statements that it never happened in 2019, did you or anyone on your staff reach out to anyone at Bergdorf Goodman?
I didn't have to reach out to anybody because it didn't happen. And by the way, if it did happen, it would have been reported within minutes. Talking about going to a major floor, probably, I assume, the most important floor, a major floor in a major department store. That's a very busy store, by the way. And checkout counters and everything else. And I would be in there. I mean, it's the most ridiculous, disgusting story. It was just made up.
After you made the statements that you made in June of 2019, did you or anyone working for you reach out to Bergdorf Goodman?
After the statement was made, no.
In your June 21 statement that's marked as Exhibit 20, you say, and this is the Litvin tweet, I never met this person in my life.
Yes.
Was that a true statement when you made it on June 21, 2019?
It was a true statement when I made it. I think subsequently, or at some point, they showed a picture on a receiving. I was on a celebrity line for a charity, and I think I was either shaking her hand or her husband's hand on a receiving line. I shake a lot of hands with people, but I had no idea who she was.
So if I can understand your testimony, sir, you're saying that at the time you made the statement that's in DJT 20, you were not aware of ever having met Ms. Carroll. You have since seen a photograph that shows you with Ms. Carroll on a receiving line.
Along with a lot of other people.
What do you think of Nate Silver saying Trump is likely to win the Electoral College? I don't know. I don't follow Nate Silver at all anymore. I have no idea.
It was a very public, I think it was a charity or a celebrity event or something. And I think that's her big claim to fame, you know, that she shook my hand at some celebrity event.
So the answer to my question is yes, that after you made the statement, you became aware that there's a photo of you with Ms. Carroll in a receiving line, correct?
At some point, I saw there was a photo on a receiving line, yes.
Okay, let's mark the photo. What number are we at to? What? You have in front of you a black and white photograph that we've marked as DJT 23. And I'm going to ask you, is this the photo that you were just referring to?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And do you recall when you first saw this photo?
At some point during the process, I saw it. That's, I guess, her husband, John Johnson, who was an anchor for ABC. Nice guy. I thought, I mean, I don't know him, but I thought he was pretty good at what he did. I don't even know who the woman, let's see, I don't know who, it's Marla.
You're saying Marla's in this photo?
That's Marla, yeah, that's my wife.
Which one are you pointing to? No.
Here. Oh,
the person you just pointed to was Jean Carroll.
Who is that? Who is this?
And the woman on the right?
Were they allowed to use this in court as evidence? How does it, actually, wait, where's the piece? How does a deposition get into court? Is a deposition ever entered into the record for jurors? Like can you read off what was said in a deposition, or do you have to bring the witness back onto the stand and then basically ask them the same questions that you asked them in the deposition to enter it into the record? The jury was shown the entire thing. Can you explain what happened? Well, it's a bit of a spoiler alert, but it sounds like
You're saying Marla's in this photo?
So I think later on, I think he says that like Jean Carroll is so ugly or so whatever that it's not his type, that he would have nothing to do with her. And then when he's given a piece of paper and he is asked if he can identify him in this photo, he points to Marla, his wife.
That's Marla, yeah, that's my wife.
Which one are you pointing to? No.
Here.
But that's not actually Marla, his wife. It's fucking Carol, the woman that he said would be too ugly for him to ever want to fuck. It's so fucking stupid. He didn't know what his ex-wife looked like.
The person you just pointed to was Jean Carroll.
Who is that? Who is this?
And the woman on the right is your then wife?
I don't know. This was the picture. I assume that's John Johnson. Is that Carol? Because it's very blurry.
Now, in your June 21 statement, which is...
He raped her on accident. He thought she was his wife.
In your June 21 statement, which is DJT 20, you said that Ms. Carroll was trying to sell a new book, and that you said shame on those who make up false stories of assault to try to get publicity for themselves or sell a book.
No. That's right.
Before you made that statement, did you have any knowledge, one way or the other, of the financial arrangements between Ms. Carroll and the publisher of her book?
No.
Did you even know who her publisher was?
No.
Had you ever seen her?
Wait.
That's right.
Make up false stories of assault, trying to sell a new book, and that you said shame on those who make up false stories of assault to try to get publicity for themselves or sell a book.
No. That's right.
Before you made that statement, did you have any knowledge, one way or the other, of the financial arrangements between Ms. Carroll and the publisher of her book?
No.
Did you even know who her publisher was?
No.
Had you ever seen her book contract?
No.
Did you?
Oh, I'm wondering, like, why the fuck are you, why are you answering this question? But it's a civil case. He has to. You can't plead the fifth in a civil case, or you can, but you're just going to fuck yourself.
Know anything about Ms. Carroll's financial situation?
No.
Did you know anything about her expected book sales?
No idea.
Before you made the statement that appears in DJT 20, do you know whether you or anyone working for you did any research?
Destiny had no idea about the AI shit during the debate, so I'm rage quitting didn't have to do with that in the slightest. It's absolutely embarrassing. I'm a Destiny fan. What? I literally called him out for the AI shit in the middle of the debate, Trey Jones. Were you not watching the debate? Also, I like the I'm a Destiny fan when you're some conservative dick suck in here trying to pretend otherwise. Did you not watch? You didn't even watch the debate. Why the fuck are you even talking in chat like you did?
On Ms. Carroll. DJT 20, do you know whether you or anyone working for you did any research on Ms. Carroll?
I just don't know. It's possible somebody, when they heard this horrible accusation, it's possible that somebody did a little quick research, but not that I know of.
Another thing that you say in your June 21 statement is that Ms. Carroll was trying to carry out a political agenda.
Yeah.
Before issuing your statement on June 21, did you learn what political party Ms. Carroll belonged to?
Bro, how could he ever win this case ever? Wait. Is this deposition for the rape case, or was it rape plus defamation, or was it just defamation, or what was the?
I didn't know that.
Before you issued your June 21 statement, did you have any documents indicating that she was pursuing a political agenda?
No.
Like, why would you even go to court on this case? Why would you not settle this? The other party would have settled, right? It's a defamation case plus it's in front of a jury. Why would you not just settle this? Did Trump's team not want to settle, or did Carroll really want to go in front of a jury? Does anybody know? Trump on election night said we need to stop the count. Do you like using that talking point in debates? I mean, it's a pretty big one, yeah.
At the end of your statement, your June 21 statement, you say, if anyone has information that the Democratic Party is working with Ms. Carroll or New York Magazine, please notify us as soon as possible. Did anyone ever notify you?
No.
Sitting here today, you can't recall.
Bro, this is the same as the J6 shit. He's just a fucking liar. Liar. He just lies. He just lies. I'm gonna rip this part. That's just. He just lies. I don't know how to spell their fucking name.
This was the picture. Did you say in your June 21 statement is that before issuing your statement on June 21, did you learn what political party Ms. Carroll belonged to?
I didn't know that.
Before you issued your June 21 statement, did you have any documents indicating that she was pursuing a political agenda?
No.
Hi, baby.
At the end of your statement, your June 21 statement, you say, if anyone has information that the Democratic Party is working with Ms. Carroll or New York Magazine, please notify us as soon as possible. Did anyone ever notify you?
I don't know.
Sitting here today, you can't recall anyone who notified you?
I don't know. Yep.
One of the other things that you said about Ms. Carroll at the time appears in your June 24 statement, which is DJT 22. And what you said there is, I'll say it with great respect, number one, she's not my type. When you said that Ms. Carroll was not your type, you meant that she was not your type physically, right?
I saw her in a picture. I didn't know what she looked like. And I said it, and I say it with as much respect as I can, but she is not my type.
And again, when you say type, you just refer to looking at photos, so you mean physically she's not your type.
Physically, she's not my type, and now that I've gotten indirectly to hear things about her, she wouldn't be my type in any way, shape, or form.
But when you were talking back on June 24th, you were referring to her not being your type physically.
I saw a photo of her, and the only difference between me and other people is I'm honest. She's not my type.
I take it the 3 women you've married are all your type.
Yeah.
What is True Social?
It's a platform that's been opened by me as an alternative to Twitter.
And your handle on True Social is @Real Donald Trump?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Now, on October 12, just a few days ago, you issued a statement on True Social about Ms. Carroll in this case, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And the statement that you posted, who wrote that statement?
I did.
You yourself?
Yeah.
Did you post the statement yourself?
Yes.
And in addition to posting the statement on True Social, you also sent it to the press.
Yes, it's called Truth and Post. We post much like, how would you say it? We put out a statement and we also put it on Truth.
Okay, let's look at the statement. Let's mark it as, what's my next number?
28.
DJT 28. Okay, so this one.
I can't read this.
Well, we have a blown up version. Let's mark it as 28 and 28A.
Same back.
So what we have in front of you is DJT 28, sir, is the post as it appeared on True Social on October 12, 2022, and a blown up version, because we appreciate the reading. The type is very small. A blown up version that should be more legible. Do you have
I
both
can
of
see
those?
it, yeah.
Okay. So it says October 12, 2022, statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. This, quote, Ms. Bergdorf-Goodman case is a complete con job. And our legal system in this country, and our legal system in this country, but especially in New York State, just look at Peekaboo James, is a broken disgrace. You have to fight for years and spend a fortune in order to get your reputation back from liars, cheaters, and hacks. This decision is from the judge who was just overturned on my same case. I don't know this woman, have no idea who she is, other than it seems she got a picture of me many years ago with her husband shaking my hand on a reception line at a celebrity charity event. She completely made up a story that I met her at the doors of this crowded New York City department store and within minutes swooned her. Swooned is in quotes. It is a hoax and a lie, just like all the other hoaxes that have been played on me for the past 7 years. And while I'm not supposed to say it, I will. This woman is not my type, exclamation point. She has no idea what day, what week, what month, what year, or what decade this so-called event, in quotes, supposedly took place. The reason she doesn't know is because it never happened, and she doesn't want to get caught up with details or facts that could be proven wrong. If you watch Anderson Cooper's interview with her, where she was promoting a really crummy book, you will see that it is a complete scam. She changed her story from beginning to end after the commercial break to suit the purposes of CNN and Andy Cooper. Our justice system is broken, along with almost everything else in our country. Her lawyer is a political operative and Cuomo crony who goes around telling people that the way to beat Trump is to sue him all over the place. She is suing me on numerous frivolous cases, just like this one, and the court system does nothing to stop it. In the meantime, and for the record, E. Jean Carroll was not telling the truth, is a woman I had nothing to do with, didn't know, and would have no interest in knowing her if I ever had the chance. Now all I have to do is go through years more of legal nonsense in order to clear my name of her and her lawyer's phony attacks on me. This can only happen to, quote, in quotes, Trump, exclamation point. Did I read that correctly?
Great statement. Yeah.
And now that you've heard it again and you have it in front of you, you again confirm that you wrote the whole thing yourself.
I wrote it all myself. All myself.
Did you? Now, at the beginning of your post, the reference Ms. Bergdorf-Goodman is a reference to Ms. Carroll, right?
That's right.
Now, when you say in here, I don't know this woman and have no idea who she is, even though you're using the present tense, you're referring back to your knowledge as of when she first made the allegation.
I still don't know this woman. I think she's a whack job. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this woman other than what I read in stories and what I hear. I know nothing about her.
Okay, well, I guess the distinction I'm trying to make, sir, is that when the allegation came out in 2019, you said I think it's your testimony, you had no idea who she was.
I still don't.
Well, today you at least know that she's a plaintiff in a case suing you, correct?
Oh, yes, that I know. Okay. But I know nothing about her. I think she's sick, mentally sick.
Okay. You say in this post, use a strange word which I want to ask you about. You say she completely made up a story that I met her at the doors of this crowded New York City department store and within minutes swooned her. Do you see that?
Yeah.
What is swoon for me?
That would be a word, maybe accurate or not, having to do with talking to her and talking to her to do an act that she said happened, which didn't happen. And it's a nicer word than the word that starts with an F. And this would be a word that I use because I thought it would be inappropriate to use the other word, and it didn't happen.
Okay, I was curious when I read this, so I looked up the word swoon in the dictionary, and under the dictionary it means to faint with extreme emotion. That's not what you meant here.
Objection to form.
Well, sort of. That's what she said I did to her. She fainted with great emotion. She actually indicated that she loved it. Okay, she loved it until commercial break. In fact, I think she said it was sexy, didn't she? It was very sexy to be raped. Didn't she say that?
So, sir, I just want to confirm, it's your testimony that E. Jean Carroll said that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, based on her interview with Anderson Cooper, I believe that's what took place. And we can define that. You'll have to show that. I'm sure you're going to show that. But she was interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and I think she said that rape was sexy, which it's not, by the way. But I think she said that rape was sexy, and she actually said things that were very strange. And then she was a different person when he said, "We'll take a break right now. We're going to take a break right now." He didn't like what she was saying. He was very upset with and then she came back and she was a much different woman in the second half, so to speak.
And so the question I'm asking you is, did she say in that interview that she loved being sexually assaulted by you?
Well, she said something to that effect. I mean, you'll have to take a look at the interview yourself. I believe she said rape was sexy, to which Anderson Cooper is dying. He's saying, let's get to a commercial break immediately. I think you better watch the interview. I'm sure you have, but you better watch the interview.
In the interview, when Ms. Carroll talked about rape being sexy, isn't it true that she said that's a view that many other people hold?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I believe she said rape is sexy or something to
I have a lawyer guy that emails me this, and I felt this in the lying about Hitler case. I love the courtroom setting, because when I debate people, they say the most retarded fucking shit in the world. But it doesn't work in this setting when you have one person that has to take the stand and answer your fucking questions honestly, one at a time, in front of a jury of people that are listening to the entire presentation of a case. I love it. I love this setting, right? Where, if this was like a deposition, or if I was like a litigator, right? And like I could do this, right? So you said that Trump said soon you'll be marching peacefully to the Capitol, right? Yes, he did that. Did he also say you need to fight like hell or you're going to lose your country? Yes, he did it. Did Giuliani earlier also say it's going to be a trial by combat? Yes, he did also say that. Did he also say that we need to stand up and never let them take our country from us? Yes, he did say that. Like, being able to just like hammer these down one and one and one and one over like every single line is so nice in this setting, without having some retarded like 25 IQ go, well, yeah, but actually, none of this actually matters. Like, oh God, like being able to, like the stupid, like the cute misquotes and the retarded shit that works in a casual conversation format, to be able to just ask her right after, like, you said she said this, right? Yeah, she did. Didn't she right after also say, this is what other people say? Well, wait, can you come back in like 15 minutes? I just want to watch the rest of this deposition. It's almost done.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Careful.
Any other people hold?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I believe she said rape is sexy or something to that effect, but you'll have to watch the interview. It's been a while.
And just to clarify, I think you said a few minutes earlier that you used the word swooned as a synonym for, you said the F word, for sexual intercourse?
Yeah. Okay. That's because that's what she said.
What do you mean? She never used the word swooned?
She said that I did something to her that never took place. There was no anything. I know nothing about this nut job.
Okay, then you go on to say in the statement, and while I am not supposed to say it, I will. Why are you not supposed to say it?
I'm making somebody explain all of this. I want to hear, in one of these depositions at some point, or in some place in court, I want to hear a litigator ask, who is they? You say over and over again, they. Who is they? When you say they, who are you identifying? Well, you know, the Jews. Oh, which ones? Well, you know, them. Which Jews in particular?
Because it's not politically correct to say, read the next, go ahead, that she's not my type. Yeah, because it's not politically correct to say it, and I know that, but I'll say it anyway. She's accusing me of rape. A woman that I have no idea who she is. It came out of the blue. She's accusing me of rape, of raping her. The worst thing you can do, the worst charge, and you know it's not true too. You're a political operative also. You're a disgrace.
Why would you say this? He's losing it. Can your will your attorney tell you to fuck off? What? Don't close that. He doesn't like the door closed. He doesn't. When you close the door, he comes and investigates because he knows that that's probably when all the crazy shit. He's keeping an eye on you.
You're such a brat. Oh my god.
I scream a lot, so I think she wants to close the door. But for some reason, anytime the door is closed, honey has to go in that room. He doesn't give a fuck right now. He's just laying here, but he's eyeing the door.
Running there and screams at me like he just sits.
Yeah. So if she closes the door, honey will walk up and just start screaming at the door. And then when she opens it, he'll just look in. He'll go into the room and like take a look around and then scream a little and then just leave. He doesn't give a fuck. There's just... He's like... He's glaring at that door. Hold on. Honey, what are you doing? I set up this thing up here for him to lay on the blanket, okay? I put the blanket up here. And this is where he decides to sit. This is the kitty blanket, specially bought for him, right here. And so he decides to sit here on my rag for cleaning the monitor, staying as far away, just like... And then I try to push him off that. And then he decides... And then he just decides to sit on this. I don't understand. What was Dr. Disrespect doing?
Wait for this guy to peek! Boom! I'm the best!
Dark alleyways is where they're gonna find us. The next game is what we're going to get into. The next play, it's going to be a dominating one. The next snipe, 360 minimum. The next victory, celebration time.
I'm gonna use the restaurant list. Go.
Don't you ever dare peek in the 2x world! Come on, I'm not even gonna look at this last guy. You know what I mean? This is my show!
No, it's not. Now it's mine.
Sit down! I fucking can't don't get nothing!
I really do like this one.
Surprise!
Huh? My boomer? Huh?
Boom! Come on! You think I'm gonna stop right there? Out of the game! You think that's the end of the line? You think we're done? Why do we put the losses on the arena? Champions Club.
I'm looking for someone.
We're just getting started. Oh, scoped him!
It was really only a matter of time.
Game! It will!
That's a $16,000 knife.
Is it done?
91 minutes. Wow.
Easy, easy. Rough landing. The name. Oh, baby, 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 the name is Dr. Dis. Respect. And you're looking at the two-time back-to-back 1993-1994 blockbuster video game champion and true international video gaming superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a goddamn snooze fest.
Am I allowed to turn this off yet?
Don't be shy. Oh, it's been a long time, champs. The la vacación with mi familia was increíble. But we're back from vacation.
Oh, it sounds like an opportunity to do some work.
Doing what we do best. That's put on a show and look good doing it. By the way, brand new arena, champs. Want me to give you a little tour? Oh, come on, don't be shy. Let's take a look.
If August actually gave a fuck about the stream, he would have backgrounds like this made for me.
Oh. Brand new state-of-the-art transport system inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Running Man. It works pretty well. A little tight, a little claustrophobic. Nonetheless, champs, the entrance into the arena. Oh, take a look around. I put a lot of money, my own money, invested into this facility. It's taken months and months. Hold on, I gotta go. There's something about the VIP lounge. Currently, potentially could be closed down temporarily. But we'll get it all activated. We'll open these doors just for you Champions Club members real soon. Nonetheless, take a look. Look what's waiting for you. Cocktails, black on slate black blazers, jars of Vaseline, bow ties, and nothing but oh shit. Gotta watch out for that thing, man. What was I talking about? Oh, where are we? I'm in the lobby. So when you walk in through the front entrance of the arena, this is the first place you step into. And it's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Okay.
And you know it's not true too. You're a political operative also. You're a disgrace. But she's
wait. Can your lawyer tell you to shut the fuck up in a deposition, or like they can advise you not to say something, right? Why? Like this seems just so stupid. God, I'm so curious how much of this played out in trial. I wish I had like 10 more hours in the day. Fuck.
And you know it's not true too. You're a political operative also. You're a disgrace. But she's accusing me, and so are you, of a rape, and it never took place.
Is his lawyer here? Absolutely, yes. I think they objected earlier. Yeah, you should never do a deposition without a lawyer present. It's incredibly important. You should. I mean, especially if you have a lawyer for a case, of course. Yeah.
And I will tell you, I made that statement and I said, well, it's politically incorrect. She's not my type. And that's 100% true. She's not my type.
Now, in your True Social statement on October 12th, you use the word hoax. Specifically, you say, it is a hoax and a lie, just like all the other hoaxes that have been played on me for the past 7 years. You see?
Trump legit has horrible lawyers. Well, it's hard because you have to separate out when we say what that means. So some of his lawyers are just criminal collaborators. Other lawyers are just like White House counsel, who tend to give pretty good advice, but he ignores all of them. And then he has other lawyers who are probably people that are kind of sort of trying to do the right thing, but I mean, as much as people in the normie world will meme about, oh, a lawyer can do anything, indict a ham sandwich, whatever retarded shit, like, you have to mold whatever you're doing around the facts that are given to you. And if your client is just super fucking guilty, like, I mean, you can only do so much, right? Make the state prove their case. Here, this is a civil case, so you're fucked. It's 51%, and you can't plead the fifth. So I mean, like, you can only do so much, right? They're lawyers, not magicians.
It is a hoax and a lie, just like all the other hoaxes that have been played on me for the past 7 years. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Recall making that statement. And I take it what you're saying there is Ms. Carroll fabricated her claim that you sexually assaulted her, correct?
Yes, totally. 100%.
Fair to say, you'd agree with me, would you not, that you use the term hoax quite a lot?
Yes, I do.
CNN reported that you used it more than 250 times in 2020. Does that sound right?
Could be. I've had a lot of hoaxes played on me. This is one of them.
And how would you define the word hoax?
A fake story, a false story, a made-up story.
Would you consider Silverglade to be a good lawyer? He seemed to be very reasonable in your conversation, minus the Trump stuff. I have no idea. Not only do I not know if he's a good lawyer, remember, I have no litigation experience, and I can only look at what's shown to me. I wouldn't even be able to tell you technically what is a good lawyer, what isn't. As a layman, I could maybe say, as a layman with a little bit of legal understanding, I might be able to say, like, oh, wow, that's cool, or oh, that's not cool. But I could say something where it's like, I can't believe that he didn't do this or that. And somebody with any litigant experience might say, like, oh, well, obviously you can't because this wouldn't be allowed. It's, forbidden by court rules or whatever. So I don't have any formal litigation experience. Obviously, I don't have any formal litigation training. So I can only like point out, like, in a very like a slightly knowledgeable layman type sense, like, what seems okay and what doesn't seem okay. Otherwise, yeah, I can only point out obvious mistakes. That's it.
Something that's not true.
Something.
You shot your alien yet? Not yet.
That's not true. Yes.
Sitting here today, can you recall what else you have referred to as a hoax?
Sure. The Russia hoax. It's been proven to be a hoax. Ukraine hoax. The Mueller situation for 2.5 years hoax. Ended in no collusion. It was a whole big hoax. The lying to the FISA court hoax. The lying to Congress many times hoax by all these people, this scum that we have in our country.
Would a good lawyer agree to work with someone like Eastman? Maybe. Remember, okay? Remember, all right? Even if a person is guilty, it is in all of our interests that the state proves their case. Even in a civil litigation case where somebody, might have done something wrong, it is essential that the system has the burden of proof on the plaintiff's side. This is good. We always want that. Even if a man has raped his way through 500 women, we want him to have a legitimate defense, and we want the state in a valid court of law, following all the rules and regulations and laws and everything else, to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt in front of a jury or a plea if they have to, right? It is in all of our best interests for that to always be the case, okay?
Lying to Congress, hoax. The spying on my campaign, hoax. They spied on my campaign, and now they admit it. That was another hoax, and I could get a whole list of them. And this is a hoax, too.
This, when you say this and that?
This ridiculous situation that we're doing right now is a big fat hoax. She's a liar, and she's a sick person, in my opinion.
Everyone deserves representation, even when they're wrong and evil. That is true, kind of, but don't think about it just for the person. It's not just that they deserve it. We all deserve it. Again, you always want the state to have the burden of proof and to prove their case acting in a good manner, right? You don't ever want to be like, oh, that guy's obviously guilty, so like, yeah, fuck it. Like, let's do whatever. Because maybe somebody one day will think you're obviously guilty, right? You don't ever want that, okay?
This ridiculous situation that we're doing right now is a big fat hoax. She's a liar, and she's a sick person, in my opinion. Really sick. Something wrong with her.
Okay. In addition to the Russia hoax, the Ukraine hoax, the Mueller hoax, the lying to FISA hoax, the lying to Congress.
This is about depositions, bro. This is about depositions.
Okay, fine. What do you want? What's up?
All right. So you were talking earlier about how you're fascinated with this deposition process, right?
Or
I'm also.
Okay, yeah, go. Sure.
Right. I'm fascinated with it, I think, for the same reasons. You said for the reason of.
I just like the court. I like the court process that you can ask like a clear line of questioning. You've got like a theory for. Yeah.
Have you ever been deposed?
No, I have not. No.
Okay. So I have. I know a lot about the process. I also spent 7 months on a civil jury. And the things that I learned about the legal process blew my mind. I mean, when I popped in, you were talking about the right of somebody to a zealous defense and the kind of presumption that the process works when you've got a jury, right? But I was on a civil jury who, we were instructed in the same way any jury was to not discuss the case in the jury room, to not read the newspapers.
To not discuss the case outside of the jury room, right?
Exactly. Well, no, to not even when we were on recess, you're not supposed to be discussing your opinion about the case.
Oh, sure. Only when you're in deliberation or whatever, right?
Only when you're in deliberation. And one of the things I learned being on a jury that long was that you spend way more time chilling in the jury room waiting for them to be ready for the jury to come in than you do actually listening to the case.
Okay.
And in that time, I immediately found on day one, that everybody in there had already made up their mind about the case, right? Was talking about it openly in front of the bailiff. Nobody was doing anything about it. So I snitched. Like I went to the judge on the second day and I was like, hey, you gave us instructions and everybody's discussing this case, right?
Okay.
And he brought the whole jury in, admonished them. They all knew it was me because I was the one that was taken in that morning. So I was just basically ostracized and it became a whisper thing. But this assumption that the fucking process is working in good faith is one that I learned very quickly through other means too. I mean, I have other interactions with the legal process that like are fucked, bro. Like I was the victim of, have you ever heard of copyright or not copyright trolling, but like I guess that's one of the things. Have you ever heard of like porn trolling in the legal sense?
Nope.
So you remember back in the LimeWire / fucking Demonoid days where you could download porn and shit via right? So there were these legal entities, these law firms, right, that existed to catch people's IPs during that process. What was that fucking process called? Nobody uses it anymore. Peer-to-peer.
Yeah, peer-to-peer things. They're like honeypots, basically. Yeah. You would sit on a torrent, and they would just either be listening or they'd be distributing stuff, and they'd be logging your IPs, and then the RIA or the MPA or whatever would send you a letter in the mail, or
Right. So the letter I got was a packet of information from Comcast. This was before they changed their rules at Comcast. Now Comcast uniformly denies any information about their customer base without a direct court order. But they used to cooperate with these law firms, right? So I had a roommate that downloaded like, Giant Tits 12 or some shit. And it was one of these honeypot things.
Okay.
Right. And I spent 9 months being harassed, sent fake legal documents. This is all fucking until I was finally, and I'm at that point in my life, I wasn't like a legal person. Well, dude, if it wasn't I wouldn't be fucking ashamed. The chat's saying a roommate. Like, it was clearly like me that downloaded the big tits thing, but does it matter? Well, it was a pressure campaign.
All right, what do we do? I get to the point. What's the point? Where are we at?
Okay, so you're fascinated with the deposition shit, right?
I don't know. You keep saying fascinated. I just appreciate the legal process. I think it's better than like informal conversations. Yeah.
What if you found somebody that disagreed with you fundamentally, and they agreed to submit themselves to a deposition? Like.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. Like I fantasize, I jerk off at night, I stop watching porn, and I just imagine that debates are actually just happening in front of like judges with a jury of peers in a formal court setting. Yes.
No. I'm talking about a deposition. That's not in a jury. That's not in front of. That's a that's
well, I don't
done
care
in
about just
room.
You keep saying fascination deposition. A deposition is a very small part of this whole process. Yeah, I don't care about the deposition in and of itself. It's just
from the way that you were talking about it, you said that they were what fascinated you was that they were kind of like legally compelled not to be weaselly.
Yeah, that's the court process. Yeah, the deposition is part of this, but so is like examination of a witness, cross-exam of a witness. Yeah, this is all part of it. Yeah, and you're under perjury. You take an oath, so you can't fucking lie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but in the deposition that stands as well.
Yeah.
Right. So, it might be if there's somebody like on the right wing or something that you trust to be good faith with it, it might be an interesting thing for you to try one day. Like, hey, like, and you can trade even. Like, I will be the lawyer, you be the deponent. You have to answer, you can even have a lawyer there with you advising you, and then I'll do the same thing. It might be just an interesting exercise to see if it changes
I don't think
the tone
that's
tone and timbre of your debate.
Maybe, yeah. We'll see what happens after hopefully after Trump loses. But right now, something I've realized is that nobody that is large into political content, there are very, 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 very few people that are interested in actually fighting with somebody who they feel like can provide substantive pushback to what they say.
Do you know a single one?
I know
Like
one person, and I don't align with him very well politically, but Sam Cedar, I think, is probably the only person that I know of. Maybe David Pakman?
Well, okay, so David, you're not aligned with David Pakman?
No, I'm much more aligned with Pakman than I am with Sam Cedar.
But Sam Cedar, and if you trust, all I'm saying is, dude, I don't want to waste any more of your time. I think it would be interesting to see you in that context with somebody that you trusted to be good faith and to treat it as such, even with lawyers present. I think it would be instructive to your audience about the legal process. And I think it would be interested to see if it changes the tone and timbre of your political debate. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
Have a good day, buddy. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
have
good.
a good
Don't
one.
ever apologize. Love you. Be careful. Somebody sent me a theory and said that the reason why Trump has to fight is because he actually doesn't think Jean Carroll is that hot. And instead of post-nut clarity, he's having post-nut rage. That's why he paid off Stormy Daniels to not say a word, but he would never pay this woman off. I don't know if that's true or not, but have you started The Sopranos yet? No. Almost done with Hunter x Hunter, I think. I'm on episode like 120. I think there's like 30 episodes left.
Hoax and the spying on your campaign hoax. Isn't it true that you also referred to the use of mail-in ballots as a hoax?
Yeah, I do. Sure. I do.
I do.
And
They're
still
very
do.
dishonest. Mail-in ballots, very dishonest.
And isn't it true that you yourself have voted by mail?
I do. Sometimes I do, but I don't know what happens to it once you give it. I have no idea.
Doc is addressing the allegations. It's so boring. He's just going to say, oh, I don't know about this. Do you think anything crazy is going to come out of this?
All parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement. However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond. And again, champs, I respected all the confidential obligations.
Just as a heads up, as one of the only people that actually reads through most of the contracts that he signs, which is why I don't get contract fucked, oftentimes contracts will have a clause in them. I don't know what the name of this clause is. I'm pretty sure it's boilerplate because I've seen it boilerplate because I've seen them in multiple contracts I've signed. But it'll say something to the effect of just because one part of this contract is broken doesn't mean that the rest of the contract is null and void. Now, I don't know if that applies to the NDA or whatever legal agreements that he signed, but just something to keep in mind if you're ever in a position where you're signing contracts. Just because one party breaks some clause or some part of the contract doesn't mean that it's all like garbage. You could just say whatever. But again, that's a general statement based on my personal experiences that might not apply to whatever he's talking about. I don't know, who the fuck knows. Also, remember, things like NDA, never mind, actually. I was going to say, for people in my position, things like NDAs and this shit, they don't really matter that much because chances are whatever you're NDAing, there's going to be way more negative public fallout or damage than what the fuck the NDA would ever protect you from. Like when you start dealing with like famous people, you start dealing with like big companies and shit, like you can try to NDA somebody, but like if they leak some shit that's going to destroy your company and you're going to lose like 7-8 figures worth of value, you're probably never getting that money back in any type of like civil court setting or third party arbitration. Like you're just fucked. So always keep that in mind too. Contracts are, what's the guy in what's the name of the captain of the Black Pearl before Jack gets it back? The pirates code, they're more like guidelines. Contracts are kind of sort of like that sometimes.
But even then, as part of the settlement, all parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement.
Are mail-in ballots actually less secure? Is there any reason to buy that argument? I mean, I feel like just by virtue of them being mail-in ballots, no, I don't feel like they're less secure. My intuition is to say that obviously it seems like you could fake a mail-in ballot easier than you could fake showing up at a polling place, but you could just probably fake showing up at a polling place, right? If you've got voter ID at the polling place, then maybe not. If it's a photo ID, and if the people are actually paying attention, then I guess it'd be a little bit harder. Getting a fake ID seems pretty trivial, though. And then do they use like blue light? I think in Nebraska, they didn't use they didn't even check ID, actually. They just asked for your address and verified your name. So, I don't know. So I don't know if there's any reason to think that one would be more secure than the other.
However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond. And again, Champs, again, I respected all the confidential obligations.
My assumption would be that mail-in ballots are slightly less secure than... That would just be based on like a priori, like my prior assumptions would just say that, but I haven't like looked into it at all. So.
But apparently Twitch's own disgruntled employees didn't feel the need to abide by those same obligations. Cody Connors, ex-Twitch employee, wasn't even involved, leaks Twitch's reported reason. Years later. Cody, why do this? What was the point? This was settled professionally. And you knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided, you fucking rat, to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020. Well, I mean, for what? Cody, why? Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors? You see, you don't know.
So, like, this would be the thing that... And nobody cares or knows or whatever, any of this. This is... Okay, so here's the game that I'm playing. Oh, fuck, I can't tell. Never mind, fuck, my brain. When people like Benny Johnson and people like Martin Shkreli and people like... Who else? I think there's a third person I did this to. People will say things like, if I hear people talking shit about me, I'm going to sue them, or I'll sue you, or I'll sue you, right? Anytime I see somebody say that, if I know they're full of shit, I'll tweet at them, and I'll say, hey, sue me, let's do it. If you want to do that, yeah, like Benny Johnson, I know Martin Shkreli did this. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I think he did steal his shit. Sue me if you want. When people are saying shit like this, oh, I'm going to start suing people, you must be very confident in your opinion. In that case, okay, well, let's see it. Let's do it. Let's go to court, and you can show me. If Dr. Disrespect is being honest here, and if everything Cody is saying is a lie, I feel like this would qualify for some type of civil litigation. But then the question would be, well, is Dr. Disrespect suing him? And if not, why not? That would be my question, right? When he's making all of this so public. If you think that he's like clearly defaming you, or he's clearly lying about a thing, what is the response to conservatives arguing that Trump's property fraud is just common business practice and he's being targeted for political reasons? The reason why Republicans are able to think that's part of the propaganda model of saying everything is fucked. The nice thing about saying the entire system is fucked and destroyed is that anytime somebody on your side gets caught with anything, you can say, oh, well, look, everyone's doing it. It's just not true. If it was true, then our country would be like collapsing. Like, yeah. Cody is too poor to pay out, probably. Who cares? You win the case publicly. It looks good for you, no? That you were able to secure a settlement, or you, at the very least, you could get him to retract his statements, right? Especially if he's too poor, no?
Oh, shit. And it was obvious from your tweet. You didn't have any firsthand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from professionally.
I can't believe you had me roped into this stupid shit. Now we have to listen to it carefully. Now I'm curious what he's going to say.
And you knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided, you fucking rat, to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020. Well, I mean, for what? Cody, why?
Why would you spend 2 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars? We can just get the same W by just dunking on him on a stream for hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2 years? How long would this take? That hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2 years is assuming that you're going like the full 9 yards, all your pretrial shit, you're going to trial, you're going to try in front of a judge, you're doing... That'd be like, there's no shot. It'd be less than 50K would be my guess. And that's like with a hefty amount of like writing and research and everything else before going to court. There's no way I think like this would actually go to court if one of them is clearly in the fucking wrong, right?
Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not?
Is that his real hair or is it a wig? My understanding is initially he wore a wig, but I think eventually he just grew his hair out to be like this.
Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors? You see, you don't know shit, and it was obvious from your tweet. You didn't have any firsthand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages? Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? I do. And yeah, I used Twitch's Whispers, but trust me, I wasn't sexting anyone.
Like when you're playing on the definitions here like this... So it sounds like they were probably having a sexually explicit conversation, but they weren't actually engaged in like cyber sexing. We used to call it cybering when I grew up, but that's all I'm hearing there. But okay.
You also said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs. When you and all these so-called journalists, Cody, fired off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages?
Meaning that she was probably 16 or 17 is what that probably means.
You didn't. Neither did any of these journalists, and neither did Twitch at the time of the ban.
Notice that he's saying she was over the age of consent, but he's not saying that she was an adult, and he's not saying that she wasn't a minor. He's just saying she was over the legal age of consent.
Consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages? You didn't. Neither did any of these journalists, and neither did Twitch at the time of the ban. You also tried to tell the world that I was trying to meet up with this user at TwitchCon, but you're wrong. Let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever. Your bullshit accusations gave false courage to other former Twitch employees to make shit up as well.
Okay, we'll see what it says about the others. He's never, ever suing any of the people involved because the actual truth is probably fairly close-ish to what the guy said, but it's not that she was probably 17. They were probably having sexually explicit dialogue, and they probably kind of like joked about or talked about meeting up, but there was never like a specific time or place involved, and that's like the story that he's going with. That's my guess. But there's no way that those hazy details would be enough to nail the other dude, would be my guess. Who is the goat he's talking about? Cody, is it Cody Connors? Or am I making that name up?
I suspect all of you sort of planned and coordinated this attack. These big-time publications...
Or is it Cody Evoli? I don't know what's coming to my mind. Eoli? What's the name of that mayo shit? It's like mayonnaise but fancy, so I'll eat it. Aioli, right? A-I-O-L, whatever the fuck. Yeah.
These journalists, these various outlets, are sort of just gossip channels now, don't you think, champs? They act like they're just gossip channels now, without any real journalism and real research happening. They reported on all this based on leaks from 2 former Twitch employees, one of whom was supposedly on the trust and safety team.
Were you ever connected to Dr. Disrespect at all? No, we should have killed him one time in a battle royale, but RNA or Mr. Moon or somebody else fucked up. Whoever fucked up, it definitely wasn't me.
If these anonymous sources worked on the trust and safety team at the time of my Twitch suspension in 2020, then you would hope they would tell the truth. But apparently that's just too much to ask. If these former trust and safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are, actually had firsthand knowledge, then what they conveniently left out is, 1, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. And 2, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child sexual abuse material CSAM.
So they were probably just sexually explicit messages, inappropriate sexually explicit messages with a 16 or 17-year-old, but it didn't rise to the level of sexting. However, they're defining that, and the girl wasn't beneath the age of 16, and there were no pictures exchanged or exact places to meet up decided, we might guess.
I'll say it again. Neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexual graphic messages or images.
Yeah.
Cody Connors and these other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging sexually explicit messages and photos with this Twitch user. That never happened. I even used the word inappropriate, purposely. And look at how it was defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place. I mean, how would each of you look if all of your private DMs, your text messages, your chats were looked at, dissected, and taken out of context by someone who's deliberately trying to find something inappropriate in those words? And this is not a situation where a victim publicly accuses someone of wrongdoing. That never happened here. We're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the whisper messages were legal! You see, I engage with my community. I engage with other streamers. And through Twitch Whispers, I communicate with Twitch users. Conversations that consisted of a variety of playing games and gaming, politics, content creation, random stuff. This was the extent of my whispers with this Twitch user. On June 21st, 2020, my ex-Twitch partner manager learns that I exchanged whispers with the Twitch user. And I say ex-partner manager because for years, this guy didn't do anything for me, my community, or my channel. For years. I'm talking no front page love. You're talking about the face of the platform, right? Literally.
It is a question of why would Twitch ban him, though? Man, why would Twitch ban him? They must have been pretty inappropriate messages, would be my guess. But, geez.
Face of the platform. And I know Champions Club remembers this. We got zero front page love on the website. He was never on my channel. He didn't follow me on Twitter. He wouldn't even inform us
I
about
think this is live or pre-recorded. Probably live. It could be pre-recorded though. I'm sure he's got a script or something in front of him.
Twitch rival tournaments. We're talking about the two-time Twitch rival tournament. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you want to play in it? We got zero support from this guy. And it was just so obvious that he carried a grudge against the two-time.
He didn't take your advice of coming back as Dr. Respect. He went Goblin on his. I mean, he'll just go back to gaming after this, right?
So after we signed with Twitch in 2019, we asked for a new partner manager. And just a few months later, that ex-Twitch partner manager is directly involved with getting me banned. Coincidence?
When Slasher said that the DMs can't be leaked because they are child sexual assault material, isn't he directly refuting that? I think that was a guess from Slasher. My understanding, based on my conversation with Slasher like 4 years ago, is he never saw the exact DMs. I don't know if that's changed recently or not. I don't know if he said anything differently recently or not. But I don't believe Slasher's ever seen those DMs, or at least he hadn't when this was a long time ago. He, at least at that point, but.
The Twitch user tells the ex-Twitch...
But I don't think he claimed to have seen those DMs. He's just saying that like if it was like this, it wouldn't leak because you wouldn't just repost it online, right?
Partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. I'll repeat that sentence one more time just in case anybody missed that one. The Twitch user tells his ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch.
But is going full-on right-wing pandering a viable strategy for him? No, I don't think he's going to do that. Or Dan thinks he's going to do that. I just don't think politics is just such a weird switch for him. He's going to lose his whole audience. He's just probably going to keep gaming, would be my guess.
The Twitch user tells his ex-Twitch partner manager...
He said he never saw the DMs the last time you and Dan talked to him. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Anything to Twitch. I'll repeat that sentence one more time just in case anybody missed that one. The Twitch...
If there isn't anything bad, why wouldn't the doc just release them? Because there probably is some stuff that's kind of bad. And even if there wasn't anything bad, why the fuck would he release them? There are still people that said that I was a pedophile because I said there were hot 15 and 16-year-olds that were trying to fuck you at gaming conferences when I was like 22 or something. Like, people are like, ugh. So I mean, like, it's not, yeah, why the fuck would you even release shit like this?
User tells his ex-Twitch partner manager that they do not want to report anything to Twitch. But this ex-Twitch partner manager encourages the user and even directs them to file a report directly with Twitch, even though the user told him clearly that we never physically met anywhere and that no photographs were exchanged. On June 24th, 2020, Twitch's special operations team receives and reviews the user's report. They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team.
Do you think if he took your advice of shutting the fuck up and keep streaming, he'd be okay in a couple of weeks? He'll probably be fine. I'm sure he'll be okay, yeah.
Enforcement response team. That would have been the end. That should have been the end. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. Yeah, he had it out for the two-time. He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch's LER team. The LER team, remember, that's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. He escalates the report to a friend on Twitch's LER team.
Oh, wait, hold on. This is technically new shit. Hold on.
Views the user's report. They find no issues and determine that it did not warrant any further escalation to Twitch's law enforcement response team.
Okay.
That would have been the end. That should have been the end. But that partner manager, oh boy, did he had it out. Yeah, he had it out for the two-time. He finds out that no further action will be taken, so what does he do? He personally escalates the report to a friend on the Twitch's LER team. The LER team, remember, that's the Twitch's law enforcement response team. He escalates the report to a friend on Twitch's LER team. So a day later, on June 25th, the LER analyst pulls the entirety of the whisper messages and begins discussing them with his director of the LER team. Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time and does not have access to their computer or work files. Let me just remind.
Okay, wait. Dustin, you were banned for a pretty stupid reason. Maybe the doc is in a similar position. This is completely and totally different. My content, because I do political stuff, is always going to be way more on the edge. And I'm going to always be somewhat of a liability to any platform that hosts me. The doc was pretty much just a straight asset to Twitch. I think the doc was on a huge upswing. He was very popular and one of the most popular types of gaming content. Like, Twitch had really good reason to keep the doctor on. Twitch, I'm always like a risky, what's an expression for something? Box of dynamite? That's not a real thing. No, not liability. What's like a brand risk? A hot potato. Let's go with that. I was always a hot potato. Anything could happen, you know? But the doc was pretty brand safe. So to cut him was like pretty crazy, I think.
Director is on vacation at that time and does not have access to their computer or work files. Let me just remind you, I went through a big-time arbitration, okay? And, you discover a lot of stuff. Mind you, this director is on vacation at that time. The LER analyst cherry picks and sends a few targeted excerpts out of context from the whisper messages to this director. Now, if you do this, you can make anyone's messages look inappropriate, even when they aren't. Within less than 1 hour, this LER analyst and his director have made the decision to suspend me from Twitch. Twitch submits a report to NCMEC. You guys all read those little articles, huh? The NCMEC. Twitch submits that report. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Guess what? As far as I know, and over 4 years have passed, they didn't do anything with the report. As far as I know, they didn't escalate Twitch's report to law enforcement. Mind you, the same people that made this decision admit internally that the messages did not constitute sexting. The same people that made this decision at Twitch admit internally that the messages did not warrant any child sexual abuse material charge.
So I could be wrong because I don't know. I just don't know his audience. I don't know the community that he plays to. So my assumption of how he should handle this could be off. Maybe he is doing the best thing. But I feel like there are enough facts in his favor that he could release like a type of statement that would be really positive. Like if he owns up to I had conversation with somebody, they were a younger fan, they got a little inappropriate given the age, shouldn't have made some of the jokes I did, absolutely not okay. Absolutely not okay. Haven't done it since. We'll never do it again. However, there was no, and then he can go into the this was escalated to all these people before there was no child sexual abuse material, there was no investigations, or there was an investigation or whatever, there was no wrongdoing found, Twitch decided there was no wrongdoing. Like he could have gone here, but he fights so hard against literally any wrongdoing whatsoever. And then he's very precisely, cutting exactly into he said that she was a minor, but actually she was of the legal sexual age of consent in the same. It's like, why not just own up and say, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done this, I won't do it again, rather than splitting hairs so much on this. But I don't know, maybe for his audience, maybe it's important to not,
Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitted.
Will Twitch make a statement after this? I don't think Twitch has any reason to make a statement after this. I would be surprised if they did.
They did not perform any legal analysis of whether the messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract.
Like, god damn, those statements. Or maybe I'm just too internet brained. Maybe to normal people, actually that could be it too. I might be very internet coded and very libertarian coded, where as soon as I hear somebody start rambling on about the age of consent, my brain is like, what's going on here? Maybe ordinary people don't care or think about it as much, but that wording is so precise.
Messages exchanged were illegal in any way. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me while admitting that they never investigated the age of consent in the jurisdiction where the user's messages were sent and received. Twitch makes this decision to terminate my contract and ban me without ever interviewing me, the user, or any other third party, including the partner manager. It's fucking unbelievable! I'm not going to get into every detail regarding my legal case, but these former Twitch employees that claim to have firsthand knowledge, they just don't have a clue. They didn't report any facts. The judge in the case determined that the whispers were not illegal. So then why did Twitch use these messages against me? Why did Twitch treat the doc so differently from...
So when he says the judge in the case, I think usually when you sign contracts, I'm pretty sure this is in mind for Twitch, it's third party. It's usually you agree to arbitration. I think Twitch picks the company, but there's somebody that arbitrates this. You don't actually go to court for it. I think he's probably talking about either an arbitration judge that isn't part of the court system, or he's just talking about whoever at Twitch overviewed it and said that there was nothing improper. However, you don't need a legal violation to ban somebody from your platform. Now, is it a morality clause that you would have in a contract that makes it so that if you do things that are harmful to the reputation of Twitch, they could terminate your contract? Maybe. I think they're usually called morality clauses. I don't have a sponsor or anything. I haven't filled out contracts in quite a while. It's a contract provision that limits the behavior of a party or individual to the contract. They can be found in many different types of contracts, including employment agreements, custody orders, and endorsement contract. Do you have your old contract? Yeah, it's sitting in my inbox somewhere. So Twitch could still terminate his contract even if he didn't do anything illegal, but they are violating. My guess is the contract had terms, a term length. So They probably, my guess is they paid him out. That'd be my guess, but
There are other streamers. I mean, outside of the obvious. I mean, just take a look at me. Unfiltered.
The doc was a total brand risk? For what?
What's up?
The realest mother.
Hi, what's up?
I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. One, when I'm hearing the doc talk, this seems to imply that it's probably in another country, which is why he's harping on the age of consent thing. And then the second thing...
Wait, why do we think that? It could very easily just be like in a state where the age of consent is 16, no?
It could be, absolutely. But if the judge is determining nothing is illegal and something like that, it seems to seem like that it's probably a national thing. And when he goes to say they didn't even look at the age of jurisdiction or the age of consent in a given jurisdiction, that seems to suggest, at least to me personally, that it's probably he was talking to somebody from another country.
I think it could still very easily be a state. Also, when he says judge, I don't think he's necessarily meaning like a trial judge or something. Like it could just be whoever.
Arbitration judge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in arbitration, generally speaking, there is an actual judge that rules on things and will rule on motions and stuff like that. Most notably, arbitration judges tend to be retired judges. So it's like one avenue when you're actually a professional judge to then retire and become a arbitration judge.
Sure.
And they come from all over. And as far as the morality clauses, yes, they're actually still enforced and still quite common. Like if you're a Disney person, you're probably under a morality contract if you're like on a big movie or something like that.
My guess is going to be for almost anything involving large entertainment, you're absolutely going to have morality clauses. Yeah, in your, of course, yeah.
If you're on like a child's television show, there's going to be absolutely a morality
My guess
clause,
is literally on every television show, you'll have morality clauses. People get dropped from movies and shit from
Yep. But I'm saying particularly like a guaranteed one would be like a child's television show, because you wouldn't want like the dad of the family to be like, oh, this guy was like banging hookers and, you know, had a pound of blow in his back seat sort of deal. Like that would look bad for the show.
Yep.
Obviously.
Okay.
It's all I wanted to clear up. I'll let you have Dan.
Have fun. Be careful.
Right. I just got here. What did the doc say?
It's just saying the same shit he said before, basically.
6'8", gorgeous, athletic, successful, college degree, college athlete, bourbon business, gaming studio, beautiful family. And trust me, we've worked hard for over a decade to improve as a person, a husband, and father, and to get where we're at today. I mean, I'm in such a good place today. And all these.
Why do you think he decided to do this in character? Wouldn't it be more authentic if he did this as Guy Beam? Because he is his character now. I don't think he ever does anything out of character.
People, they all act like they're just so perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. Sometimes I do. But I also didn't do all the shit that they're saying I did. But then that doesn't make a story, right? They wanted media attention. The media wants controversy. And by sensationalizing all of this with big and accurate headlines like sexting and sexually explicit, you all got what you wanted at the expense of the two-time. The reality is, they wanted to cut down the doc. Plain and simple. Take a look at some of these horrendous acts of Twitch streamers that were never banned. I've got some examples right here. Example number 1. A streamer that frequently used the N-word while publicly streaming, which constitutes a violation of Twitch's policies if accompanied by hateful intent. Twitch scheduled a meeting with the streamer to ascertain his intent to determine whether his conduct was a violation of Twitch's policies, ultimately determining it was not a breach of Twitch's policies. Why wasn't I called into a meeting? Why wasn't my intent taken into consideration, champs?
Why does he always blow up with a two-time champ like Zerka with his 100K overnight spiel? Well, I mean, it's part of his character. It's part of the meme.
Example number 2. Streamer was reported for discussing doing things with deceased animals and discussing pedophilia, all while live streaming. Never suspended, but instead given a multi-million-dollar contract. Example number 3.
Who is he? Is he naming names? Who's he talking about?
Streamer was reported for a sexually explicit stream involving children and telling children to send Snapchats of them playing with themselves. Never suspended, but instead given a multi-million-dollar contract. It's so obvious that certain Twitch executives, employees involved had personal biases against the doc and used all this as an opportunity to terminate my contract. Go back and look at the timing of all this too. The doc's termination lines up with 2 preferable, profitable, and expensive streamers leaving Mixer. As soon as Twitch knew that Mixer had failed, and go look at the timing. These other expensive streamers needed a new streaming platform. So Twitch rushed through its decision to terminate the two-time. You see, I shouldn't even be banned from Twitch. It has affected us on so many levels. Back in 2020, and now in 2024. And Cody, Connors, I just have to say it again. Why would you do this? Like I said, This was handled professionally years ago. No fucking wrongdoing. But because of you, Cody, we just lost. Fuck, man.
Oh, he got demonetized on YouTube or something, right?
Unfortunately, we have to lay off people from Midnight Society. Right? Because of you, Cody.
We were first, by the way.
You know, through all this, we are where we are. And like a fucking man, I'll accept it. But I don't accept to sitting quietly by and let these idiots attack me with false accusations. No. For all these doc haters out there too, oh man, the ones that project and worry about everyone else's problems, right? I can't understand that mindset. I could care less. We've always stayed in our lane. But somehow, some way, these people, they just get in our lane. For all you doc haters, I'm sure you'll just like dissect all of this and still find a way to publicly criticize me. Do what you need to do. I'll say this isn't for you. This was for my team, today, my community, my friends, La Familia, that have supported me. And I'm not denying the exchange of whispers, champs. I'm not denying that to all of you out there, it looks bad. I have no way of knowing if the Twitch users thought our exchange of whispers was inappropriate. If it was, I apologize. All I know is that I never did what Twitch, Cody Connors, or the public is claiming that I did.
Is Twitch made these claims, or is he just using the employee as ex-employees as a stand-in? Yeah, I said at the very beginning that he can reapply for monetization at the end of September. Why? Why was he even... Did he say why he was demonetized? Did YouTube give a reason?
That's it. I'm not saying anything more about any of this, right? Unless I need to, because trust me, I have more I haven't disclosed. I just want to get back to what we do best. Put on a show and climb our way to the tippity top of the mountain, man. In our own lane.
Be in his own island.
Nice. Do you believe him? I think everything... everybody, actually, I've seen so many people do so many stupid things that now it's hard to believe in basic self-preservation. My assumption, if he has over 92 IQ... My assumption is that everything he said here is 100% true. He's speaking very specifically, so I think we can pretty easily figure out what happened. I doubt he would lie at this point when there are so many people that know exactly what's happened. I would imagine there's records of all of this shit, and it's a hugely public ordeal. So my guess would be everything he's saying is pretty true. Yeah.
What has he said that you think? Because maybe I missed something. What has he said that's like, oh, interesting? He said that.
Nothing. It's all the same shit as before. You just probably exchange inappropriate messages with a 16 or 17-year-old. Yeah.
That's it. People want, show the message, release the messages, show the messages.
What would he gain from suing Cody Connors 10K max? Well, you'd get a retraction. I think that would be the important thing, right?
People want, show the message, release the messages, show the messages. What are we in second grade? So like I said, champs, during this, YouTube demonetized us. We have September 25th. Is when we can reapply.
That's not too bad. What was that? So 3 months?
Start COD, Doc. Okay.
Okay. Paul, do you have anything you want to say?
That was not... I don't think that was the way to handle all this. It was a very wild shit. There's no way he sues anyone.
I don't know. I think he should sue the Cody dude, but...
How would he possibly win that case?
Well, if Cody hasn't seen any messages and Cody's making claims that are completely false, and he should know better, especially if he worked in those positions at Twitch, that's probably rises to the level of gross negligence or something, would be my guess.
It's actual malice, right? Isn't that the term?
Yep. But actual malice can also involve like grossly negligent behavior.
I mean, he's in a kind of a fuck spot because I guess people take him very seriously. He says he works at Twitch. He says he did it. I still don't think Doc will do it. There's no shot he's ever going to do it because of Discovery. He obviously is fucking paranoid as fuck about those messages coming out.
I don't know if he was paranoid as fuck about them coming out. I feel like if he was paranoid as fuck about them, then I don't think he would be addressing this at all. I don't know what he would have to fear for discovery either. So I mean, it's like Twitch already has all the messages, right?
Yeah.
But he could also be an idiot, so you know.
I'm leaning pretty heavily that way. I mean, remember how bad his responses were.
Yeah, they were, but it could have also been because he made them the day of, which people always do for some reason, and they're always stupid. I don't know why anybody ever responds to any serious thing the day of. You should always just wait a day or two before you write a response. There's literally no reason to publish it immediately, but...
How many times has Doc cheated on his wife?
Publicly, or...?
As far as you know.
Who knows? Why?
Oh, no, I don't... Is it 2 times or 1 time?
I don't know. I haven't followed any of the Doc shit for a long time.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll let you get back to Trump then.
Be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar, I'm sure you are, with something that's often referred to as the Access Hollywood tape?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's mark it and play it as 35.
You know, and she's still very beautiful. I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. Whoa. I did try and fuck her. She was married. No, Nancy. No, this was... And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
She's your girl's hot as shit. In the purple.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, the Donald is good. Oh, my man. Wait, you gotta look at me when you gotta set this up.
That is very...
You give me the thumbs up.
You are a
You gotta put the thumbs up. You gotta get the thumbs up. Can't be too happy. First? Yeah, let me.
It's very funny.
Gotta get the thumbs up.
You and I will love that.
Oh, my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the post. No, it's her.
Yeah, that's her. With a girl. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just, I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Look at those legs. All I can see is the legs.
No, it looks good.
Come on, shorty.
Oh, nice legs, huh?
Oof, get out of the way. That's good legs. Good.
It's always good if you don't fall out of the bus. Like Ford, Gerald Ford, remember?
Down below. Pull the hell.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
How
nice
are
seeing
you?
you.
Nice to
Terrific.
meet you.
Terrific. You know Billy Bush?
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing, Ariane?
Doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star?
We're ready. Let's go. Make me a soap star.
How about a little hug with the Donald? Just got off the
Would
bus.
you like a little
Okay,
hug,
absolutely.
A
Melania
little
said
hug
this
with the
was
bushy. I
okay.
just got-
That's you in that video, correct?
Yes.
What did Leon say? Wait, he said something in chat. Using this footage to get a jury verdict, rough LOL. Yeah, I wonder if this was ever allowed to be shown in court. Oh my god, it makes you so unendearing. I feel like this would just like mind fuck like any case you have. Jesus, but I don't know.
Yes.
And am I correct that that video was recorded in January? Withdrawn. Am I correct that that video was recorded in September 2005?
I guess that would, I don't know the date, but whatever date it was is fine with me.
It was, that's part of the appeal today? Gotcha.
Am I correct that you were engaged to your current wife sometime in 2004?
I don't know.
Am I correct that you married your current wife in January 2005?
I don't know relative to that tape, no.
And the person you were speaking to, it's now famous, in that video was Billy Bush?
That's right.
Please
this is very old news, fully litigated, during debates, during everything else, fully litigated. And you know when I said that?
During debates, fully litigated.
And I say it now, locker room talk. That was locker room talk.
Okay.
That's what goes on.
Okay, hold on. So I got a few lawyers in my YouTube chat. Is there any purpose for Trump rambling like this during his deposition? Like, why does his attorney let him do it? Is it helping him, or is it not admissible? Or, like, he makes a lot of extra statements sometimes where he attacks the, I assume it's the plaintiff's attorney, and he's saying like, oh, like you're disgusting, politically partisan, you're gross. This was like, why does he say this extra shit? Okay. Is he just fucking himself, or is there like a strategy to this? He thinks he looks cool doing it, I guess, so the lawyers don't intervene. LeMayo. If I think my client is credible, I prefer them to talk more. If they are insane, I'll convince them to talk less. Okay. That would be that would have been my guess, is that prior to this, your prep would be listen, like answer as clear and concisely as possible. Don't stress. I mean, I guess the attorneys actually could have advised him of that, right? That's possible too. And he's just ignoring the advice. It's not like you can stop him, I don't think, in the middle of a deposition. I don't know if you're allowed to stop your guy, go coach him. Well, actually, I'm sorry, to be clear, I don't believe you're allowed to coach a witness ever. I don't think you can ever tell somebody this is what you should say. I think you can technically only give general guidelines. Now, I don't know to the extent that it actually happens, but is it illegal to sell an audio recording of someone you recorded without their permission? I have no clue it depends on what you're talking about, where, and there's all sorts of things, yeah.
And you did say in the video that you, quote, moved on her heavily, correct?
Excuse me?
You do say in the video that you, quote, moved on her heavily.
I did say that, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And you do say in the video that as part of trying to have sex with this woman, you took her furniture shopping, correct?
We actually did look for furniture, yes.
So that was true. You actually took this woman
I think so. I mean, it's been a long time ago. How long is it? A long time ago. But I think so. I do think so.
Is that the only occasion when you took a woman shopping?
I think so.
And you say it.
If we weren't lazy, it'd be interesting to go through if you wanted to find out, like, when could you object and all of these, would this all be taught like in civil procedure? I've always heard this is like the worst part of law school is civil procedure. Is this what this all comes under? Because I'm so curious how much of this line of questioning is valid, or he couldn't object to anything here, right? Because what are we doing? Are we like submitting this kind of as like character evidence basically to show that, like, well, look, you do take women furniture shopping, and look, you do talk about raping women that you take furniture shopping. So look, you did. I don't know, but I'm not sure what I don't even know what all you'd read to find all that. Yeah. Objections will likely be taught during evidence or during mock trial, pre-trial/trial advocacy. I don't think his lawyers can. I think they can only intervene on behalf of the process, but I don't know. Well, you're allowed to, I believe, with one exception, and I don't remember what it is, you're allowed to object during a deposition, but unlike in court, the witness can still be compelled to answer, except with one exception. I don't remember what it was. But I think the important thing of objecting in a deposition is I think if you don't file your objection during the deposition, when it comes up in court, I don't think you can object later in court if it's not done during the deposition. So I think that even if your client still answers, I think you can object here during the deposition so that if this line of questioning is brought up in court, you could do the same, which I believe so.
That was true. You actually took this woman in.
I think so. I mean, it's been a long time ago. How long is it? A long time.
Is this part showing a pattern of behavior or actually implying that in the Access Hollywood tape, Trump was talking about Carol? I'm guessing it's like character evidence establishing a pattern of behavior. But pattern of behavior stuff, I think, is like very particular. You have to be very careful, like what a judge will allow or won't allow. But also, I've looked at criminal cases and I've looked at like civil cases, and the standards for these are probably very different. And I don't even know in my head, again, because I don't have professional litigation experience. I haven't read any of the rules like in a formal setting. So I could be mixing things up or just not aware. But like in the Rittenhouse case, for example, they wanted to submit a tape of Kyle outside of a store saying that he wanted to go and shoot people who were robbing or something. Kyle Rittenhouse, outside store, shoot robbers, something like this. I don't know why the fuck I looked for this. The state prosecutor wanted to submit this evidence, and they argued about it. I don't know if you would call this pretrial, but in the judge's chambers, they argued about this beforehand, and the judge said that he wouldn't allow this character evidence to be submitted. I'm guessing because it was too different from the case at hand. But maybe in a civil case, maybe it would have been allowed because it's a different type of case. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah.
That was true. You actually took this woman in.
I think so. I mean, it's been a long time ago. How long is it? A long time ago. But I think so. I do think so.
Is that the only occasion when you took a woman shopping?
I think so.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video.
Super prejudicial footage and not really relevant. I think super prejudicial footage can be okay if it's very relevant, though, right? Like if Kyle would have been... Like, if Kyle would have been in a car talking with a friend and he would have said something like, man, if there's ever one of these BLM riots in my area, I'm going to bring my gun and start killing people. Like, if he would have said something like that, I imagine that might have been evidence, like character evidence you could have submitted to the court, I think. Federal Rule of Evidence 404. Details when character evidence is allowed. Each state would have its own evidence code, but they're mostly based on the federal rules. Matt Taibbi is appearing at a QAnon convention. Is that true? Rule 403, more prejudicial than probative.
A long time ago. How long is it? A long time ago. But I think so. I do think so.
Is that the only occasion when you took a woman shopping?
I think so.
And you say, and again,
One
this has
time.
become very famous
Only one
in this
time.
video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Like, why? Like, is this really allowed as character evidence, or is it because it's a civil case? Are the standards different, or because this just seems like you're fucked? Like, I would never, ever, ever want. I would never want this ever to be in a civil case. Like, imagine I get accused of I don't even know, of being like civilly liable for beating somebody up. And it's like, well, we've got 15,000 clips of Dusty on stream saying I would kill a person if they cut me in line at the grocery store. It's like, bro, this was on stream. No fucking shot. Are you going to play this in front of a fucking jury? That's bullshit. I'm losing this case every time if you can roll the footage on all of these fucking things. Jeez.
Even wait.
But again, this is civil, not criminal, so it might be different. Never heard your opinion on gun control and assault rifle ban. What would your definition be for an assault rifle? I don't know. I think it's a stupid word. Assault rifles are black rifles that look spooky and are usually semi-auto and shoot. What are they? Is it medium? Is it a medium size cartridge? Is that where a rifle cartridge is considered medium? You can prepare a client for days, but they'll still often go rogue, especially if they think they're smarter than the attorney. You can't stop them mid-deposition except during breaks. Oh, intermediate cartridge. That's the word. Do you really not know about what the judge didn't allow in the Kyle R. case? What do you mean, do I really not know? Didn't I just say what he didn't allow? What?
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
Like, why would you say this? My God. Like, why the fuck would you ever say that? It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. See, like, this makes me really want to watch the... Now... Oh, no, wait. It's a... This was a state... Can you do civil litigation in federal court? Is there, like, federal civil litigation? Is there a video inside the courtroom of this? Like, did this come up? This is horrible. This sounds so horrible. My God. Fuck me.
Historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but
oh, the trial
true.
wasn't filmed? Okay.
Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
And now you said before, a couple of minutes ago, that this was just locker room talk.
It's locker room talk.
And so does that mean that you didn't really mean it?
No, it's locker room talk. I don't know. It's just the way people talk.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with a woman by the name of Natasha Stoyanov?
No.
Natasha Stoyanov.
You'll have to give me a little bit of.
Do you remember she wrote about you a lot when she worked at People magazine?
Oh, I do remember there was some woman that wrote, and then she, a long time later, I think she wrote a wonderful story, and then a long time later, as I remember it, a long time later she said that I was aggressive with her, but she wrote the most beautiful story, and then all of a sudden, like, is it a year or 2 years later, she comes out with this phony story that I was aggressive. I said, well, why would she have written such a good story for People magazine? She wrote a really nice piece, and then all of a sudden, like, years or months, many months later, she came up with this phony charge.
Is there any possibility you'd be brought up as an expert witness in one of his trials? Absolutely not. I don't know if I would ever be expertised on anything that would be relevant here. Usually expert witnesses are people also that have some court experience. Like, I think people will have like billable, like expert witness as part of their like almost credentials. Like, it's somebody that is usually in court. An expert witness is somebody that's brought in to testify on things that they haven't directly witnessed. That's why they're an expert. Usually this is like psychologists or forensics people, or it could be like police training. It really depends on the case, but there would be no reason. Like the only thing I could ever be like an expert in would be like theoretically maybe in like a Tim Pool case, where it's like, you would say that you're a streamer, right? Yeah. What do you think is an ordinary like amount of money that you'd receive for a certain deal? Like, oh, $10,000 for this video. So would you say this would be a high amount of money? Maybe that, but I don't even know if I would call it. I have no idea. Yeah. So maybe like streaming or streaming stuff.
And like, years or months, many months later, she came up with this phony charge.
Let's watch a video, and again, I apologize for the technology, where you talk about Ms. Stoyanov's allegations.
Are we marking this?
We're going to mark it. It's a clip of a video from a campaign event in West Palm Beach on October 13, 2016, and we're going to mark it.
On the using your stream shit in a theoretical trial, I assume, since it's a private recording, it's the most important factor. If you said something raunchy and borderline sexual harassment live on The Apprentice, I think it wouldn't be as good evidence. Yeah, sure, maybe. Yeah.
Of a video from a campaign event in West Palm Beach on October 13, 2016. We're going to mark it as DJT 36.
Then there was a writer from People magazine who wrote a story on Melania and myself on our first anniversary. The story was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was lovely. But last night we hear that after 12 years, this took place 12 years ago, this story, a new claim that I made inappropriate advances during the interview to this writer. And I ask a very simple question. Why wasn't it part of the story that appeared 20 or 12 years ago? Why wasn't it part of the story? Why didn't they make it part of the story? I was one of the biggest stars on television with The Apprentice, and it would have been one of the biggest stories of the year. Think of it. She's doing this story on Melania, who's pregnant at the time, and Donald Trump, our one-year anniversary. And she said I made inappropriate advances. And by the way...
Can't he just say that 100% of what he says is for entertainment purposes and excuse himself from the implications to his character? Maybe on a YouTube video, but not in court, no. You'd have to make a stronger argument for that.
The area was a public area, people all over the place.
Right, didn't Alex Jones try that?
Take a look. You take a look. Look at her words. You tell me what you think. I don't think so. I don't think.
You'd agree with me that the person you were just talking about in that video was Natasha Stoynoff, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You're familiar with a woman by the name of Jessica Leeds?
No, I don't think so. Explain, go ahead.
Does that mean that just refresh your recollection of who
Yes,
Jessica Leeds is?
this woman made up a story, just like your client made it up. Just made up a story. Having to do with sitting next to me in an airplane. And, I mean, I'll have to read this again, but that story was so false also. But this was, I guess, making out as opposed to what your client said. This story was so false. This is a disgrace also.
And do you recall...
Do you know the questions that you're going to be asked beforehand in a deposition? My guess would be no. Maybe you're given the general subject matter, but my guess is no, but... No, okay, yeah. Also, man, damn. Listen to the advice your attorneys give you before any of this shit. It feels like he rambles. He says so much extra stupid shit, but I don't know. Maybe they feel like that's the only way he can win, or he's just stupid. I have no idea.
Your client said, this story was so false. This is a disgrace also.
And do you recall speaking about Ms. Leeds' allegations at campaign events in 2016?
I might have. I thought it was so, like your client, I thought it was so ridiculous.
Okay, let's take a look at the next video, which is DJT 38, correct?
Hopefully our great movement, and there's never been anything like this in the United States, and the only way they figure they can slow it down is to come up with people that are willing to say, oh, I was with Donald Trump in 1980.
Nothing changes.
I was sitting with him on an airplane. And he went after me on the plane. Yeah, I'm going to go after. Believe me, she would not be my first choice, that I can tell you. Man, you don't know. That would not be my first choice.
When you said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice, you were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted.
Like, why? Why would you, why?
I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you. I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest in.
The video we just watched, where you talked about Ms. Leeds. What else did you know about Ms. Leeds that would indicate to you that she would not have been your first choice, other than how she looked?
I don't know. I think I probably saw her on television or something. But I don't want to be insulting. But when people accuse me of something, I think I have a right to be insulting because they're insulting me. They're doing the ultimate insult. They make up stories, and then I'm not allowed to speak my mind. No, I disagree with that. No, she would not have been anywhere on a list. I just wouldn't have been for me. No. It's disgusting. What she said was disgusting. Can you imagine doing that on an airplane? What she said? I'm doing that on an airplane. That's almost as ridiculous as doing it in Bergdorf Goodman in a dressing room.
Isn't it true that just a few minutes ago you couldn't remember the date of your engagement to your current wife, Melania?
No. We're talking about a different thing. We're talking about a woman where something happened that was inappropriate, right? Inappropriate. It was highly inappropriate.
Wait, what was the relevance of that question? Hold on.
Been anywhere on a list. I just wouldn't have been for me.
No.
It's disgusting. What she said was disgusting.
Are we getting
Can you
to
imagine
it?
doing that on an airplane? What she said? I'm doing that on an airplane. That's almost as ridiculous as doing it in Bergdorf Goodman in a dressing room.
Isn't it true that just a few minutes ago you couldn't remember the date of your engagement to your current wife, Melania?
No. We're
We're talking about a different thing. We're talking about a woman where something happened that was inappropriate, right? Inappropriate. It was highly inappropriate. She would remember that date. I would imagine she would have complained to the airline. She would know the flight. She would know everything about it. She didn't even know the year, as I remember it, just like your client doesn't know the year, doesn't know anything about it. If something happened like that to your client would know the second. She'd know down to the second. She'd know the day, the month, the year, right down to the second.
In the last paragraph of the statement that you made on June 21 that appears in the Laura Lippman tweet, DJT20, you said as follows.
Last paragraph where?
DJT20.
Go ahead, what is it?
You say as follows. The world should know what's really going on. It is a disgrace, and people should pay dearly for such false accusations. You see that? Yeah. And the person you meant who should pay dearly for such false accusations was E. Jean Carroll, correct?
Yeah, and I think their attorneys do. I think the attorneys like you are a big part of it, because you know it's a phony case.
What else did you know about me?
Jesus. Well, did they even try to, did they try to countersue? Was it dismissed, or did they just not even try? Saying that he didn't think the attorney was his type either is crazy. Yeah, holy fuck. His pattern of always being on the attack is made so fucking clear. Yeah, Jesus, attack. It's the conservative shamelessness. Yeah, you always just keep attacking. You always keep attacking. The most influential / inflammatory people of the culture war linked to Steve Bannon and Breitbart. Charlie Kirk wrote for them in 2012. His father was the project architect for Trump Tower. See Bannon interviewing Epstein at the Young Turks. Okay.